To be honest, this century is
Pharma farm. Pharma farm. Yeah, I guess.
Are you seeing this?
All right, let's go, boys. Game started. Who cares?
Yeah. Blocked a creep for 40 seconds. Finally, it'll go into battle as Ollie's going to make a little bit of a play there. But it seems like this lane eventually is going to be pushing further for 33 and 9. Classic lane shenanigans as we're used to seeing out from the
9 debut on the post 4, guys. Is he big noob or a big pro? Let's find out. I'm ready to find out. Thompson also mid against Mikoto currently. He has a big wave coming in. He'll be fine, honestly. Fine.
I think Mikoto nowadays is more of like the stable.
You wanna join for a cast sometime, Kidaro?
That's good.
I know we haven't talked.
And sometimes you see his hero, it lacks synergy with the team's draft. So he's more volatile.
Right. So you don't know if you're going to get Flopson or Chatson, basically, is it? Could go a bit in between there.
Depends on how you see it. And bot lane.
Yeah, they're trying for 9. He's actually going to use the disruption offensively. Ollie's still whacking away here with the auto attacks. 23 has another dagger to throw, but not nearly enough damage. Fairy Fire is secured. Who grabbed that first Lotus? I didn't quite see it. Oh, it was 3 minutes. I've been playing too much Turbo. Shame on me. I've just outed myself as a Turbo player.
I was like, what's actually happening?
Yeah, my bad. Jump in again onto 9. This time he has still another disruption charge and uses it to definitely avoid the magic missile damage. He might still go down. 23 throws the dagger, finds the kill. Top lane, it seems like they're also taking a lot of harass out from this Talon off lane as well. Q, claritying back up. Looks like he's ready to make another go at this.
Yeah, definitely. Big creep wave here. He wants to pressure the Lion.
Yeah, Snake King in some trouble. He's already thrown the Earth Spike, has another one in a second, and a Blood Grenade Snowball, though. The stun sufficient to allow them to pick up the kill.
Yeah, they're doing really well, you know, on the Naga at the moment. He's gotten his levels and he's pulling the wave over. So this lane is gonna be pretty much a free farm lane for the Naga and the PL.
Yep.
And it's gonna come down to which support could benefit from this situation, you know, with the waves going out. And if the Naga doesn't really need the Tusk is gonna be free to roam to go to the bot lane to kill through the Twin Gate.
Yep. And I want to just very quickly identify something.
Stuck again.
Yeah, there he is. He's in trouble. I think he's just dead. Again, the right clicks, they pull in the illusions as well for even more damage.
No TP. This is bad.
He goes. 33, meanwhile, down bottom. He does have himself the very annoying Chain Lightning creep, so plenty of damage being dished out from him as he actually will go underneath the tower. Magic Missile forced out. TP coming in now already from the Tusk. See who they want to make the jump onto. 23 goes on to 9. The supports in the meantime looking for 33, who is out of mana but has 20 wand charges. Don't know if they quite get through him, trying to burst him before the wand charge. No, he's going to save the wand charges, actually, as 23 is just going to be able to focus down onto 9. Should get this kill here eventually with the Orb of Corrosion. 9, yeah, running right back into 23, and a lovely rotation from Q to pick up a kill.
Oh, they actually got both kills out of it. I initially thought that 23 should have gone on the Doom, but in the end, it pays off, you know, they got both kills. I think 33 just felt like it wasn't worth it for him to use that big wand. Like maybe if he lives, he'll be living like with very little HP and not much mana, so he'd rather die anyway. I think that's the correct decision for him.
This lane is getting troublesome, though. I was about to point something out that the reason I think Talon were putting so much pressure using a lot of the mana early and getting a couple kills was because they didn't want 9 to be able to pull the wave. 9 eventually unblocked the camp, but it's now reblocked after Ollie managed to find a kill there. And with Q still lingering down here, they might not be out of the woods yet. Ollie trying to bait back 33. Maybe he'll be able to go on to 9 now as he looks for the D ward. Q making a go at it. Let's see here with the Ice Shards. Well placed as 9's going to have to turn himself around. Will pop the disruption offensively, but still goes down. TP comes out from Snaking, but he's only back at the tier 1 tower. To Talon, they've lost their ward, so this might surprise them as the stun does actually connect on the 23, but he pops his wand charges right onto 33, and with that bonus attack speed, easily has the kill. Looks like it'll be a third as well, as Snaking cannot escape here. Just too much damage. Last dagger thrown will pick it up. Oh, Thompson, let's see what he can do. He might be a little bit late, but that's a boulder smash for you. Immediately a kill, but 23 jumps back on in. Thompson trying to turn with the Magnetize, but it's not nearly enough. 23 Savage, he's cooking already. A triple kill for him 5 minutes in.
Yeah, Tundra totally underestimating how strong this tag team plus PA and the bench minus armor, you know, is doing in the early game. All these small little spells just doesn't allow you to trade efficiently. You know, they just do so much damage. You don't expect it, but they just over the course of time, the daggers being thrown down, and then the minus armor from the Terra and the tag team, they just kill you. They whittle you down.
So
this is the problem with having Lion and SD. Both of them
Right.
are weak early game, and when you're facing against a Tusk, the Tusk can bully you.
Just to put it into perspective for you, by the way, right now, Wave of Terror level 2, -4 armor, Orb of Corrosion -3. PA basically is hitting with like the Deso debuff.
And here comes
on
Picoto.
top of tag team. And here they go. This is 33. He's level 4, by the way. Q is running on in. They're going to let 23 pick up this kill as he jumps in to secure it. And Ollie looking for anyone else. I mean, this bottom lane is just littered with all of these daggers now. This is very problematic.
Yeah, and on top of that, Jabs, he was alone, and he's still free farming top. You know, he doesn't have a support in lane, but who needs the support when you can already free farm? And they're farming top. Yeah, totally destroying bot. And Storm is also having a pretty good time. So across all the lanes, Talon is doing amazingly so far in the early game, and they have this big 3k lead already at 7 minutes. And now Wisdom Runes are going to spawn. At least Tundra is going to be able to secure
they're
one.
securing it. Nine, he's been reported enough for forgetting about Wisdom Runes in his pubs. He's in position. He's stacking. In the meantime, behind him, or in front of him, I should say, there is a 2-man smoke. Pardon me, heading bottom. Thompson level 6 here. Does not have a point in the silence, but does have Magnetize at the ready. Ollie and 23 both down bottom. Is 23 able to avoid detection there because of the blur? It seems like he might get away. Thompson, his spidey senses were tingling, but he's just a second late. Fight in the meantime is going to continue up in this top lane as they do see 23 with that ward on the high ground. However, PL's going to TP to the tier 2. Skitter didn't want anything of this fight. At least didn't really appreciate his current positioning there.
Yeah, Tundra, they're a bit frustrated, you know, not connecting on the ganks. Thompson really wants to fight with the Magnetize. He's really, really strong right now, and Talon is not giving them the fight that they want to. They're just dodging, and Naga is still happily farming away.
And a really good, move by Makoto, who recognizes everything that's going on. He takes down the mid tier 1 tower basically by himself. Now he's going to make a big old jump on in. Oh no, 9. He is going to go down here. Are going to scout this big stack as well. I don't really think they can take at least the Ancients, but Makoto is going to make a move here for this the hard camp, which is stacked 3 times. 23 jumping in as well. 33 still doesn't have enough experience for the Doom, but Thompson is here as well. The Rolling Boulder is not going to connect, but the Boulder Smash will. That's more than enough. A big kill there for Thompson. Might open up his game, gives the experience required for 33 to level up the Doom. Now the Boulder Smash will connect. Ollie finds a little stun here on a Thompson, who will continue looking for more. Snake King stun is not going to connect onto 23, but does find Ollie, sent into the disruption, popping out into a world of pain, trying to deny himself to the creeps, but will eventually fall, making 3 big kills here for Tundra.
Yeah, that was absolutely necessary for Tundra to be able to punish Talon for doing that, for trying to steal the stack, you know. Those kills are going to mean a lot for Thompson, and right now he's going to probably die here. Not much he can do to get out.
Well, not in that case. He will end up falling. And some important momentum, though. 9 is nearly dying to this stack of Ancients. Is going to be A-okay. No, he's okay. He's got a salve. He's at least half HP. Q is chasing, though. Thought maybe would have gone a bit crazier. I mean, Talon, you can't say that they're not dedicated. They just kind of died, chain feeding basically over that stack of the hard creeps. Makoto right back to it. Will it be able to finish them off? There's no tier 1 mid here, and Snaking is picked up on that ward. So they're going to make a play for him. Thompson, though, in the trees, can maybe look to jump back in onto Makoto, who has no more bottle sips here. But Tundra, recognizing the position they're in, do not want to fight into both these supports. I mean, you just have such a strong hero right now. Makoto not even really Winter at such a big timing. Basically just Falcon Blade and the Power Treads, but feeling strong enough with both supports having level 6 backing him up.
Yeah, they're going to smoke up again, you know. Probably going to wait for the 10-minute rune to see if they can get some...
Oh, yeah. That's a good one. That's an Arcane. So Winter, the first one was, what, a Haste? So we've had Haste and Arcane already. DD and Invis, I suppose, are going to be the next biggest ones that they're hoping
for the Storm.
Yeah, that's a good point. Regen's real good, too. Makoto will break his smoke on the wave, so he shows the bottled Arcane. I would say a 10-minute Arcane rune's not the biggest deal in the world for Storm, but might make a little bit of a difference if you're already taking a fight. And, well, here go Talon yet again. Nice disruption there, avoids the magic missile, and Makoto did pop the Arcane rune here. 33 is a bit tankier now, Winter. He has finished up the Vanguard and has Doom back off cooldown. Nine still suffering a little bit for experience, but once they do start farming some of these stacks he's been making, he'll eventually recover a little bit, but he's still down to level 4. Big stacks by him.
Yeah, he needs somebody to clear the stack so he gets the XP.
Yep.
And he already didn't get much from the medium camp because the enemy stole it. I mean, this is not good news if you're playing an SD and you're being so low level at 11 minutes, like level 4.5 at 11. That's
right.
Pretty bad.
And he's triple stacked here, the ancient camp, and on the edge of the map, I guess, by the Tormentor. The problem with this camp is you don't usually see a lot of carries or, you know, stack clears to this part of the map. Thompson in the mid lane, he's getting gone on, by the way, but is able to turn very effectively, rolling actually onto Q, but he's got more remnants to drop to extend the magnetized. Makoto needs to get out of range as Thompson. Oh, he's going to roll defensively. Makoto ticking down underneath his tower, though. Another remnant kicked on over to him. Will collect the kill. Q to fall as collateral. And it's going to be a triple here for Thompson into Godson, already turned to 3v1 into 3 kills for himself. Well played.
1v3, no problem. My name is Thompson. I don't care how many heroes you bring. I'm gonna kill you all. Just bring everybody here. I'll kill everybody, he says.
Yeah, and that's the blade now paying off.
Earth Spirit with Blamia early game. Nobody wants to touch this hero. And he has the occult bracelet, so
he's
giving
so
him also the magic resist.
Shout out PTP showing us the death summary. You can see how big of a difference that makes there on that blade mail. That thing is tough, especially on these tanky strength heroes. And better days now for Tundra. 9 also convinced 33 to finally farm this big stack of Ancients. So he's finally up to level 6 as well, and a little bit more gold into his pockets as he does try and get his Aether Lens.
Yeah,
Pops
the
in.
gonna make.
Oh, he's okay. I thought he was making the jump.
Very easy for him to use his spells in the team fight. And this is one of the items that you really want to get on Shadow Demon. Sometimes you have to get the Claimer or the Force Staff, you know, like to save yourself. But if you can really afford to rush the Aether Lens, it makes your game so much nicer to play.
And I'd say
normally against Storm, I would say that you want to get the Gleamer first.
Yeah.
So that when the Storm goes on you, you have a way to run away.
So that's what I was thinking as well. I'm wondering if it has something to do with the support duo here, because let me take a look at Lion's build. Nothing in the quick buy yet for Snay. But you do have supports that can kind of save them each other, right? From either a Tusk or a Storm or a PA jumping in. So maybe that's why he feels a little bit more confident. You know, at least with Aether, since you're standing a bit further back, you are kind of pulling the fight another 200, units away, closer to your teammates. That might make it a little bit of a difference, make it more difficult.
You know what I think it is? It is just his mid laner instincts.
He's following the guide.
No, it's the mid laner instincts, because Aether Lens is just a greedier build, You don't think so much about your teammates, because if you get Glimmer, you can also save your teammates.
Okay. Well, we'll see how that goes. Before we get to this Storm Orchid, which is nearly completed, that'll be, I think, a big turning point here for Talon in terms of them looking for fights. I do want to quickly touch back upon something you brought up earlier for this Jabs offlane Naga Siren. You show me this quick buy, you show me his current items. I guess this was a core Naga, or like a safe lane Naga. He almost has Manta completed. What are your thoughts on this?
I mean, right now he's okay. He might have the song right now to get out.
Yeah,
he just needs an item to shove out. I mean, I don't think there's anything else you can buy Naga in the early game. You need the Manta to help you accelerate. You pressure the map. You farm. You push out waves. And by doing that, you're actually also creating a lot of space for PA to farm, right? Because you're forcing the enemy to react. You're sending illusions to shove the wave, so they have to deal with it. If they don't deal with it, they're losing farm. So when they send heroes to deal with it, then your PA feels a lot more safer to go out on the map to farm. So in a way, you're kind of helping the PA also.
Okay, so there's a smoke. Eventually, Tundra chooses to go down bottom with it, where the rolling boulder just barely missing onto Q. However, the boulder smash, the yo-yo of death, as some call it, onto Q, as I don't think he'll be receiving any reinforcements. He tries to punch his way through the shield room, but Thompson's got more than half remaining. That's going to be an easy kill here for Tundra. Even if they miss on the Naga, they'll get something down bottom. This PA, by the way, you spoke about her farm. I just want to say, she has the battle fury. She's already accelerating quite nicely, given her early game, how strong of an early game 23 had, going nicely towards this BKB already.
Yeah, late game is going to be very, very scary for Tundra, If they don't have the Doom on the PA, I feel like they're going to struggle to kill the PA later, and the illusions, I feel like are gonna be dealt with by the Storm. And PA in general is like it's very difficult for PL to man fight the PA, you know. So you have to keep poking and prodding. And if your team doesn't deal enough damage to kill the PA, then you're not gonna be able to win the fight against the PA, you know. So for the PL, it's all about whether his team can get the right initiation. Whereas
we'll see here. I hate to cut you off, but we're waiting. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, whereas for the PA, it's more about like right now he wants to farm, get to his Aghanim's plus Deso timing, because the item is just too good on the hero right now. The blur, you can dispel, and I just feel like the refresh part is also quite obnoxious in a team fight. You can double blur because it gives you like what 0.75 invulnerability. It messes up with how enemies cast their spell on you. So normally in a high pressure situation, it kind of can win you a team fight.
I got you. Yeah, I was just going to point out there that Talon and Tundra both, you know, waiting for that 16-minute rune. So DD into the bottle of Topson, but could have been a big one if Talon managed to get that one to spawn top, because Mikoto is ready now with his Orchid, and now finally has Ball Lightning level 2. I think we're going to get, you know, we're going to get some action here, I'd say, pretty soon. This Ags is complete now on Skitter, so that makes his life a little bit easier when you're talking about, you know, poking and prodding from a distance. It's going to be their strategy.
It's also a very nice farming item for PL. You know, when you see those PLs rush Ags, you think they're going to fight? No, they're hitting creeps here.
And Talon are not hitting creeps, actually. Their move is going to be into the Roche pit, where they're going to utilize this Medallion of Courage, all the minus armor that they have, and obliterate Roshan. Holy moly. God. He went down fast.
10 seconds.
I mean, they, you know, when the whole team gathered, not much more than that. What are you looking at here with your minus armor? Wave of Terror, you know, it was level 3, but let's just call it 6. Corrosion, Medallion, Riptide minus armor, no Deso yet, I believe.
And then the tag team.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of physical damage, and you still have a good amount of magic burst as well, I would say, between magic missile, snowball, ice shards, and of course the storm spirit. So it's not like Tundra can just, you know, get a Crimson Guard and ignore this physical damage. It's no lich here.
Guess what they're doing? They're getting a Radiance on Earth Spirit.
Okay, well, I mean, he's got the heart now. He's got the blade mail. You don't want to hit him now. You can't even hit him because of the miss rate. Maybe this is going to be the solution, as Mikoto is going to be jumped. Topson connecting on the combo. Barely had the vision. Disruption is going to allow Topson to wear off this silence. The sun is there. They even had a hex. I mean, and that's why it can be so dangerous to jump into this team as a Storm Spirit, right? The jump that they have here, the catch, it's phenomenal, as Topson shows us.
Yeah, you have to respect the fact that there's a Lion in the game, you know. The Storm has to focus on farming his BKB. Like, that item is going to allow him to play without BKB against Lion and the silence from Earth Spirit. Good luck.
Oh, forget about it, man. It's going to be tough. So Skitter as well coming online a little bit more with his Ags Diffusal. So now if he is throwing illusions into the fights, at the very least, they'll be very annoying for these supports, like you touched on earlier in the draft. It's going to be a bit more problematic for the side of Talon should we start getting into some of these big fights.
Do you know what the supports can do? Get a big gun.
You know, I mean...
actually, it's not so good against PLs. Because
he makes too many.
There's just way too many.
You just get a Ghost Scepter, I guess. I mean, there's not much else you can really do. Jabs is getting a heart, though. That's his solution. Just literally the C off laner, if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, but what's the game plan? You know, they just feel like they just need to drag the game late, mid lane, roll in.
Now they jump in. Yeah, it's going to be Topson trying to get through Q here, but he's relatively tanky, able to get off the snowball. I don't know if Q makes it out alive, however, as he is going to be left behind. Space for the team. Idling on the outside of this fight is 23. He's going to make now a jump onto the Shadow Demon, but 9, he's not going down that easily. Not without all the minus armor that they needed to take down the Roshan. 23, though, BKB at the ready, jumps back on and eats the Doom now from 33. Tundra just letting the PL illusion seek him down and the Doom damage, as it's Mikoto who will be able to deny him, I guess. Still, it's only the Aegis. Not a phenomenal first use of Aegis out from Talon. I think they were going to be a bit happier if they were able to retain that.
Yeah, and they used the fresh BKB on the PA, you know, that's definitely not ideal. They're still gonna smoke up. They feel like without the Doom, they can actually still fight. No Doom and no Magnetize. They feel like they're still really strong without, even though PA doesn't have BKB.
See that, by the way, Topson started pinging the mirror image illusions. He felt like Naga was coming or in the vicinity just by the movements, or the lack of movement specifically, by jabs of the mirror image illusions. That was a interesting bit of game sense there. So Tundra are going to be able to...
Sneaking is like, please give me the shard, please.
No, it goes to 9.
No.
Yeah, Snaking's card is so good this game. That's fine. I think he's just gonna have to wait for the next one. He might. Yeah, he's
no,
queued
buy
it up.
yourself.
Yeah,
Don't
he's
wait
queued
for
it
the
up.
next one. I see this way too many times on the supports where there's okay, I'll just wait for the next commenter, you know. But you should actually just buy it if it just has the chance to turn the game around. You can't be greedy with this.
Certainly does this game. Let's see if Talon are going to start doing their own tournaments, and they will. Ollie, yeah, he's got a magic wand, so he needed to use that in order to not die. He needs to get away. Yep, nope, didn't do that in time. Oops.
Okay.
That's
I've seen
fine.
this happen way too many times when I'm a support. I'm walking next to a PA or a temple
Hold on.
assassin.
Top lane, they're on to 33 here, who is getting dived underneath his tier 2 tower. Utilizing the Orchid, they will be able to pick up a kill, and no one in the vicinity here for the side of Tundra, so no save available. Looks like the tower will go down eventually to Jabs' chipped illusions.
I mean, this is the thing, right? When the lanes are always constantly pressured and whoever goes down and Storm is not on the map, you always have a chance of dying if you're not PL. I feel like only PL or even maybe just the Earth Spirit can actually shove out this kind of lanes, you know. Even the Doom is not strong enough because he doesn't have any armor items right now, so he takes a lot of physical damage from the illusions and the Riptide.
Yeah, the Vanguard's just not enough to see him through that. It's going to be a bit challenging. Oh, he's disassembled it, of course, for the Octarine, pardon me.
And he has a dragon skill, which kind of helps, but still not enough. You're going to have to get like a... I guess this game you're probably going to get either... Probably Shiva's, I guess, later. Shiva's going to help him later.
Still only a 1k net worth lead dividing the two teams, or separating them, I should say.
I mean, they are playing against a Midas Doom, you know, so...
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, Skitter as well has been finding really good farm, I would say, since then. Thompson as well, coming along really nicely already for the Radiance. Almost has that online as well.
Yeah, remember how this game started, Richie? 7 minutes.
I do.
They were 3k ahead.
Yeah,
and
with
now
the
we have a
triple kill
game.
on 23.
Yeah.
I just think, I mean, I don't think Talon's strength was really well represented in that previous fight. And to, you know, Tundra's credit, they had the better jump there, right? But this PA, you know, I think perhaps 23 was feeling himself a little bit too much there, you know, without really the tag team, without at least the Wave of Terror plus Medallion minus armor, you know, he doesn't have Desto. His damage was not sufficient. He jumped onto Shadow Demon BK Bean thinking he could burst through 9 in 3 hits, and it just, the damage wasn't there.
Yeah, he just overestimated how much he could have done in that fight, and obviously having the Aegis, it gives you a lot more bravery points. You just want to go in.
That's right.
Right now he's gonna have the Deso. He's gonna have his level 18 as well, so level 3 coup de grace. I still feel like he should keep farming until he gets his Axe. So I think Axe is when the hero just becomes a totally different monster. Like he can join fights where it's convenient for him and low risk, but whenever there's like a high risk fight, I think he should just continue farming.
But then when do they fight? You know, because it seems like Jabs is
Dude,
killing.
they have a Naga in the game. You think they are in a rush to fight? They're gonna farm creeps the whole game.
So the impetus is on Talon or Tundra, pardon me. Then you're thinking they need to find a way. You don't think
and
this Earth Spirit?
Tundra is saying we have a Midas Doom, an Earth Spirit that is building a Radiance, so we don't care too.
Yeah, I mean they both seem. That's what I'm trying to question you on the theory here. You know, what ends up being the winning formula late game? I mean, is this PL just going to be a little bit too annoying for these supports? Can we distract those guys? You know, is this Lion, is this Shadow Demon going to be able to survive even a second in these fights? As there's the Earth Spirit Radiance finish. I mean, certainly this has to be a move now from Tundra, right?
My money is on PA. I'll tell you that. Late game PA. I've lost
she's
so
got
many
the
games against that.
We'll see if they want to make the jump here into this Radiance. The Naga Illusions giving them some vision as the swap immediately into the stun. Thompson does manage to get off the blade rail, but it doesn't matter. He's eviscerated. A follow-up silence now as there's 2 Orchids on this team. They blow through Snake King now with all that minus armor. 33 drops the Doom onto 23. Minus 10 for him. A terrible joke. But it's just going to be a clean disengage now from Talon. They got what they came for, kill onto the mid laner, and they're out of there.
Don't worry, Richie. Nobody heard anything. Don't worry. I mean, it's a very, very big kill there. I guess once the Earth Spirit gets swapped in and he gets stunned, there's actually no way to play that fight unless 9 is around the vicinity to get maybe a defensive disruption to buy some time.
It needs to be, right? And then maybe a Lion counter initiation or something. It just,
I mean, that's
it
the
doesn't
thing, right?
seem...
Nobody built 4-star for Glimmer, so apart from disruption, they have actually nothing to say.
No, I mean, and I can't blame Snay, right? He didn't get the RNG on the mana drain shard from the Tormentor. He had to buy it, right? So he's even behind on something like a Blink Dagger. 9, you know, say what you will about the Aether Lens, but that's his item of choice. Going into the Ag Scepter as well immediately following that. It just doesn't really seem, with these two supports and their itemization, that your counter initiation is not that strong. But once Talon get on top of you, if 9's not there for a disruption, there's not much to do, not much to say. They're going to smoke up now. I like this move from Tundra, though. I think they need to be the ones striking first.
But without a blink on Lion,
yeah, you've got Earth Spirit. You've got Earth Spirit. He's all you need. Look, there he goes. Thompson onto Q is going to completely whip on the roll. Q then is going to be able to get off the Walrus Punch, his own BKB. Jabs from the side, waiting. Has Song of the Siren, 33, looking, waiting for the jump in, looking for the Doom. Is going to be able to find Jabs, but just as the song is popped, and Jabs, out of mana, out of illusions, is going to use this opportunity to escape, but a quick little kill there out from Tundra, not too bad. Alan waiting in the vicinity, though. Thompson does not have a BKB, does get off the Blade Mail. 23 pops his own BKB, makes the jump in. 9 in position for the save, and it's a quick kill yet again. The PL, however, strikes back, is able to take down Ollie, as the rest of Talon are going to be forced to retreat.
I mean, that's so insane, right? The 3 of them just stood there and they went on 5 heroes. And they felt like they could have just... I guess it's because of the observer ward behind that gave them enough information.
Yeah. Gave them the confidence to make the jump.
Tundra definitely did not see that coming, you know, like, what the hell? Why are they jumping on us right now?
It's true. I mean, Thompson sure didn't see it coming. Dead for another 20 seconds. And what otherwise could have been maybe a moment here for Tundra to take a Roshan, instead, he's going to allow Talon to have another go at this.
They want to finish the axe on a PA. He almost has the axe.
Oh, he's got it now.
Oh, he stole the item. Okay.
Snake King waiting in the trees. He's just lost it where he's losing his ward. And may lose his life soon enough, but it's actually a very brave TP through the Twin Gate out from Skitter. Careful, though, that dagger. Not finding a crit, but is going to be able to nuke Snake King down to half HP. Makoto pops his fresh BKB to finish up the kill. The buyback immediately. It's a long TP to the outpost, but with Thompson now rolling on in, it's all signs go from Tundra as they are looking for a fight. Q, he's going to pop his own BKB as they do get the Walrus Punch onto Thompson, but he's got too many allies around himself now. 23 Savage has BKB in 10 more seconds. Makoto without BKB for another 65. Same thing as Q over another minute, but still they will smoke up and look for a fight. Song of the Siren on cooldown for 20 seconds, so there isn't a really easy escape here if it goes wrong for Talon Esports. They might still look for it, though.
Can they get
the ward on down? They are going to jump on this. Well, at least throw a couple stuns onto Skitter, but they've lost the ward immediately. Another roll on in from Thompson as he does find Ollie. He's silenced immediately, but does get off the blade. Mouse at 23, not jumping in quite yet. Q wants to find one of these backliners, but he is gone just way too deep. Fingered and killed off immediately. Advantage now for Tundra as they do buy back. They get the Doom onto Jab, so that means there's no Song of the Siren to interrupt the fight. But 23 looking for a fight here, trying to find a kill, getting something. He's got the Accepted, but needs to finish off someone. 9 with a great defensive disruption is going to prevent that from happening, but he's going to go down now. There's going to be the refreshed blur as 23 jumping onto the wave is going to be jumped now by 33. Makoto back in this fight as well, but they are on to 23. He is taken down, killed off. Makoto out of mana. It does get the swap off away in time, giving Makoto a little bit more time to try and escape, but how far can he really run from Thompson? Thompson's a little bit limited here by the mana. With whatever left, whatever Makoto has, he's gonna be able to escape. A monstrous fight there. Talon, they wanted that fight so hard, didn't they?
Yeah, they forced it way too much. I felt like when they were positioning themselves way too near the small camp, the pool camp there, and the PA, he was hiding so far away. You know, he didn't want to commit into any of the fights, and the bench got jumped on first. And I felt like the fight was very, very difficult after that happened when the bench and the Tusk, they got jumped. And those two heroes are the heroes that are going to set up the fight for the PA. And PA couldn't really find a way to come into the fight, you know. So she was just hiding in the outskirts of the fight, just waiting for opportunities, just throwing daggers.
Yeah, and just a really bold move by 33. His positioning in that fight, the way that it was kind of anchored around him the entire time from Tundra, with Thompson kind of dragging him, you know, to wherever he was rolling. But Talon, you know, unfortunately, I think their fatal mistake was trying to fight around the ward that they had, you know, utilized previously to find a kill onto Thompson. they tried to basically replace a ward there. You know, and that's doable if you're able to get a jump immediately with the vision you get, because it was dewarded immediately, and from there, Tundra had all the confidence in that fight. Tough engagement there for Talon.
They need to think again, you know, how they're gonna approach the fight, the next fight. You know? I feel like they need to let the Storm go in and see reveal the positioning of the Tundra heroes, and then before they decide whether they want to go in with the Tusk, you know, because once the Tusk snowballs in, he's pretty much in, you know, and he's gonna die. There's no turning back. If you're a Storm, you can still get out.
9 has accepted, by the way, so he's got the charges of the Demonic Cleanse, 2 of them. Roche is going down slowly. Gonna allow Talon to try and get in position here, as in goes the Naga Illusion to scout things out. Into the trees goes Mikoto, trying to scare away 33, but Thompson instead makes the jump, does spook Mikoto into popping the BKB, as out from the Roche pit comes Skitter. Completely alone here. He's going to doppel back to the low ground, which traps Thompson momentarily. Thompson back into the pit, though. That was only a charge of the Demonic Cleanse, but a BKB charge out from the Storm Spirit is going to make this next jump even trickier, especially as they are going to be able to find Ali. Down he goes. He brought back in the previous fight. Jabs, thinking about the Song of the Siren, is going to be interrupted.
He's doomed again.
He is going to be in some trouble. Snake still alive, finally taken down. Phantom Knives, 23 is going to be able to go on in, but even he's not going to be able to live too long here, as he is going to be able to take down at least a couple more heroes. Thompson taking down Jabs, a Skitter, and now Thompson on to 23, finding the kill. There was just too many enemy heroes there. PA unable to take the fight solo, basically, is what it felt like there. Talon, I think they've missed their opportunity.
And they also used a buyback on Storm, you know, because felt like he needed to come back to help the PA, and in the end, he wasted the buyback. I mean, you can see, you know, once the Venge and the Tusk, they couldn't really get a good initiation for the team. The fight is actually pretty hard for Talon, you know, because you have an offlane Naga, so you have 2 carries, right? So you're lacking in terms of a hero that can initiate compared to Tundra's lineup where they have a Doom offlane, so the Doom can go in and start the fight, you know. So now we're starting to see the difference between the 2 sides, the draft, you know. It was strong before, but now Tundra is like getting into the phase where when team fights matter the most, the Doom offlane seems to be able to find the right initiations in the last 2 fights where he got jabs with the Doom.
Exactly, yeah, and that's what I wanted to say. That was pivotal, pardon me, in that fight for the success of Tundra was the Naga Siren song not being able to be activated. Ended up really, I'd say, collapsing that fight, made it incredibly easy for Thompson to jump in. And sure, 23's damage numbers might be scary, but there are some tanky lads now. Level 20 Doom with an Octarine, the casual plate mail now, making a really big difference for him as he makes his way towards the Shivas. Earth Spirit as well has been incredibly tanky all game long. I think this time, at least Ali doesn't die to Tormentor, thankfully, as they do take it down and give the shard to Jabs. So that's not bad. Now it's even more important for him to get off this song. That could be instrumental.
It's not really that useful in this game against the Doom, because you can't heal, right? Against the Doom. It stops healing. So you can't really heal I guess you can still reset the fight, but the heal is not really that useful anymore.
Yeah, that's a good point. I still think that's going to be the important thing. It's the resetting the fight, basically trying to find another source of initiation here. It's so tricky.
I feel like they really need to wait for the Storm to go in and create chaos. They cannot let the supports go in and try to initiate with swap, because you don't have a blink or you don't have a way to go in and find the openings easily as the Venge. The Tusk has a dagger right now, but if he goes in and snowballs or punch someone, he's gonna be like all in, you know, he's committed, you know. So they should just let the Storm poke, show some vision, try to reveal some enemy heroes, and then decide whether they want to commit with the Bench and the Tusk.
It's a bit tricky. I mean, they've got to be in that really close range where you're able to get off a swap or you're able to get off a snowball save, but not able to be found.
They need to be alive in the fights to cast as well, especially the Bench, you know, the Terror, the swap, getting your Solar Crest off on the PA. I think those are the very important things that needs to happen for the PA. You know? You can see once the supports are dead, you know, the PA doesn't feel as scary in the team fight, you know, compared to before.
And I actually think that's why Nine's build in particular is quite strong. I'm coming around to it a little bit more, you know, being able to dispel a lot of the buffs that are given or the debuffs that are given to your team do make this PA feel a lot weaker, right? Her Phantom Strike buff, for example, is completely dispellable. So she's just missing out on all this attack speed when she jumps around in the fights, for example.
Yeah,
right?
That's actually a really good point. Like, PA deals a lot of damage with the attack speed from Phantom Strike, and usually you don't get attack speed items. So if you remove that, she doesn't have attack speed.
Yeah, exactly. And then, you know, it persists as well. You cannot dispel Demonic Purge, so even if you do get a kill with the Ag Scepter...
It's probably a mistake not to get the Stifling Dagger damage, you know, the more I think of it. Because when you're playing Ace SD, you're not going to get the reliable plus 60 attack speed from the Phantom Strike.
Right, right. That's a good point, especially with the build that Nine has gone for, you know, having the Ags and the Aether Lens. Sorry, the Aether Lens.
Yeah, he's going for the high ground. He's not coming back to defend. I'm the carry, guys. Yep. I'm going to go for the base.
Unfortunately, he's playing against the Lion, snaking. Again, this is why you need to buy the shard, right? You can see he's still struggling in the base defense, but for the meantime, the fight kicking off in the mid lane. It's 33, though, instantly nuked down. Skitr doesn't want to be here either. Thompson just trying to get his boys out of here, but more troubles brewing as Ali looking for a swap. There's the jump in from Makoto with a stun, finds both. Skitr still alive, jumping back onto Ali. Thompson creating chaos in the backlines, but now he's going to get caught. 23 makes the jump onto him. Down he goes. Skitr, he's going to be broken, but 23 just barely getting enough damage, and now Jabs with the Song of the Siren just to ensure that 23 is able to escape. Makoto out of mana as he was chasing and routing both supports out from this fight. Snake King, who did TP on back to clear the Naga illusions, is going to return, but seems like the fight is going to be a bit too difficult now. As soon as Talon gets some regen, it might look to go back on in onto Skitr. Easy elite dodging the ensnare there. We'll see how much more Talon really want to force things. I hear the ball lightning not going all the way, and Tundra will be able to get away safely after clearing at least the tier 3 tower.
I mean, that was so close. If the Earth Spirit was able to get his cheese off, I think that was a win fight for Tundra. I feel like there's not much left in the tank anymore after that, after the initial burst. So if he gets the cheese off, I feel like the fight should have been just straight up over after that. But lucky for Talon, they were able to burst him before he was able to get the cheese. And now they still have a chance in the game. PA is going to be able to... Yeah, I think he should just get the rapier right away. I don't think he should get Basher. They need damage. They don't have enough damage.
Yep, it's already the relic into the inventory. Needs a little bit more for that demon edge.
Just lock it. Don't let it lock assemble, and this make sure you use it before the fight happens. You know, make sure you assemble it.
No, I mean he's not going to be saving for the buyback, right? So he might just assemble it for whatever reason. I mean, I don't know at this point because right, but Doom no longer mutes you, so you can actually assemble it after you've been doomed.
Oh yeah, I mean unless he's level 25 and he.
That's true. Yeah,
he's about to get level 25. 2 more levels.
But do you think he breaks here? Or do you think he mutes? What does he want to do?
They're both really. I think mute. You know, like if you can mute because the break is good against the PA, but the break. I mean the break is good against the PA, but the mute is good against all the Naga and the Storm. You stop them from using their items.
Wow, I can't believe we just didn't get a fight there. It was like watching two freight trains, you know, steam towards each other, and then one takes the switch right before they collide. He still might get some action though. Thompson this time he's going to switch the cheese in, so he's missing out on the power treads. Not too big of a deal, but does make him a little bit more sluggish when he's not rolling around in the fight, which is basically never. Tundra going up to the high ground yet again. Rapier is completed and assembled now on the Phantom Assassin. The support standing so far back, but check this out from behind. Jabs, he could look for a Song of the Siren here, sends in the illusions to go scouting as there's a dagger just keenly on throne. 33 does not get up to the high ground. He's going to be chasing down 23 though. BKB pop, making the jump on in, gets the Doom, but he's already dead. And that's just a TP on back from PA. They're going to be able to reset off of this. Seems like they will lose the Vengeful Spirit off the back, but it is going to be a high ground success. I think successfully held here from Talon. I don't know if Tundra want to take this anymore. We'll see, actually. They seem to be... Yeah, they're willing to give it a go. Oh, that's a Blade Mail. Luckily, 23 doesn't crit on that. That's HP. Careful, though. There they go. Makoto now making the jump onto the backliners, but isn't able to find anything. Thompson standing his ground and fighting. Jabs out of mana. Ollie as well. He's going to go down. He just bought back for this. Thompson continuing to route them all the way back into the fountain. This Tundra, I had underestimated their strength, pardon me. Onto the tier 3 tower, easily cleaning up shop. 23, he just still doesn't have enough damage, Winter. He's got BKB in 30 seconds.
He needs Lady Luck right now.
He does need some Lady Luck. He needs some supports to be alive. There's Jabs. He ends up finding a backliner. That's going to trigger the buyback, rather, of the Tusk. They will get through snaking. He buys back as well as Thompson onto Jabs Q. Able to at least find 9 in the fights, but he's going to be able to get off that. The Rapier, careful here. Might drop 23. He goes down, doesn't have buyback. Rapier on the deck, but it's going to be the Talon bodies hitting the ground as 3 taken down. There's buyback ready now, at the very least, out for the PA, but 23 Savage without the Rapier is going to be lacking the damage. Who's picked it up here? As Thompson picked it up, of course. Well, they're going to give this a go. There's going to be the Storm Spirit Axe, but the counter initiation out from Snake King immediately puts Makoto back into the grave. They're going to try and give this a go, but Doomed Up as 23 Savage will be able to at least fight through one. No, Skidder, he's still alive, and now Jab's doing what he can, but is going to be perma-stunned to death as Tundra, they take game 1 against Talon.
I mean, what a game, man. So much back and forth, so much crazy team fight. At the end of the day, the team fight from Tundra prevails, you know. I feel like Talon, they were a bit sloppy in a couple of very, very crucial initiations. They were overstepping their boundaries with the bench and the tusk, and they were not patient enough, you know. They had the lead, but they weren't patient enough. Whereas for Tundra, they are the patient ones, you know. They waited for the right opportunity. Earth Spirit roll in, set up the fight for the Doom, gets the Doom on the Naga, and that's how they were able to win 2 of the key fights in the game that allowed them to just control over the whole game.
Yeah, they looked really good, and a difficult game to be playing support there, to be honest, against PA, a Storm, a Tusk, right? But eventually one that Tundra are going to be able to make happen, and 9 finding his very first win on position 4 with this new Tundra Rasp that we'll be seeing at least through the end of TNI 12. They're going to find a win. Number 1 against Talon Esports in our best of 2 series here for the group stage. Really, really well played. Again, and I just want to commend him. I didn't really have so much faith in that build that we kind of saw 9 going for. I thought maybe it was a bit too greedy. But given the proper positioning of the fight and given how difficult it kind of felt, especially by the end, for Talon to find the right engagement, with Makoto kind of being caught here and there after jumping in, made it a very, very good game out from Tundra for their first time. And we're back, everyone. We've banished Nightstalker back to the Berlin Major where he belongs, and we brought back the daylight here ahead of Game 2 between Talon Esports and Tundra. We saw a Talon, not quite able to put the pieces together, I'd say, Winter. After such a successful early game, it's going to be Tundra who managed to rally and roll behind Topson. I mean, this play, especially the 3v1. Oof, what a play of beauty here. Tundra able to rally and take game number 1.
Yeah, this is the reason why Earthspirit is one of the premier mid laners right now. I'm a really big fan of the hero at the moment. He's so tanky, he's skilled. He's not that strong in the lane initially, but he's able to survive most of the time. And once he gets to the mid game, he has Spirit Mill, it's hard. And in this case, it's Radiance, not something you see on Earthspirit a lot. But it definitely worked out for them, And for Talon, they have to go back to the drawing board and figure out this double carry. How can we win with this double carry when we can't win the team fights, Sure, you can have farm on the 2 side lane cores, but if you can't get a good jump, you can't get a good initiation, you're not winning the team fights. Where you see from Tundra, they have a Doom, so he has a jump. They have the traditional offlaner, so he has a way for the team to open the team fights. Gives the carry a lot of space, to dish out damage, a lot of room. So it's a lot easier to play, a traditional, well-balanced draft, I would say. Whereas Talon, they have a very aggressive early game draft, and when it comes to the mid-late game team fights, they tend to have hit a break wall. And I feel like they didn't really figure out what to do in the game, to solve the problems.
Yeah, it didn't really seem like there was a solution. I mean, I commend them at least for sticking to the game plan, which is like Makoto tries to find the poke to try and find the angle, and eventually that they enable 23 to jump in, ideally onto one of those supports is what things looked like. But time and time again, we just saw kind of Tundra outmaneuver them and able to find better positioning and make those engagements their own. And that's Tundra a very impressive game 1. And who's to say how long this win streak will last for them, but they certainly convinced me. I mean, whatever scrims or practicing that they've been doing together with 9 in this position with Topson now in the mid lane, it's been looking really good. It's definitely been working out for them.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of synergy between 33 and 9. I think 9, he knows what 33 needs in a game,
Right.
And when you look at after the laning phase, what he does to help the mid laner, and because he's a mid laner, so he understands what he needs to do in a game. I don't think it's that big of a change compared to say if you're a mid laner and you swap to off lane. I think that would be something that's totally different. But if you're a mid laner, that you swap to position 4, because a lot of the things that you do in the early game, the mid and the 4, they work a lot with each other to get runes, to set up kills, to gank, especially the 6-minute rune, then the 7-minute catapult, and you have to either choose to fight the catapult or you fight the wisdom runes. A lot of the things that you do are related to each other. So moving from mid to position 4, I don't think it's that drastic of a change.
I think for me, the thing I'm going to be looking forward to kind of seeing develop for 9, even though the skills are clearly there, like you're saying, he knows what he needs to do. I would say even in Immortal pubs, at the pro level pubs is what we should call them, right? Because there's a difference between Immortal 3K and Immortal 100. You know, it's the pro level pubs, right? Even at that level, you're going to find, compared to officials, you're going to find a different kind of laning style, laning pressure. You know, you still need to unblock the camp, you need to pull the waves, but the amount of pressure and coordination you're going to be playing into is going to be elevated, right? And certainly that time, given kind of the weakness of that lane, something that Talon drafted for, that's something 9 wasn't really able to accomplish. Still, you know, kind of backed up, went into stacking mode, and that certainly helped 33 especially get a bit recovered. But I'm looking forward to seeing how that develops for him, his battling, his pulling, his creep skipping, stuff like that, you know, because he didn't really get to show us in game number 1.
Yeah, I mean, next game, hopefully he's gonna be able to rectify that problem and do well. You know, you need to give the man some time. You know, he just swapped role. Even though I said it wasn't a very drastic change, but you still need time to adapt, to understand all the small little details.
Yeah, for the intricacies, and you gotta let him cook. Let him cook. And our team's winter, they're already cooking here as our draft for game number 2 now getting underway. Best of 2 here, so basically just this game and we're done. And we'll see who ends up being our victor.
So TA ban once again. I guess, does this tell me that you want to pick Pango early? Because TA is very good against Pango in the lane. Or this is just telling me that the team just values the TA pick a lot. They think this hero is really strong. Talon loves the TA.
Yeah, that they do. Just taking a look
at... It's a
at...
hero that's very, very strong right now because you can farm the ancients very easily, so you accelerate the game quickly. You get Roshan. He's the perfect hero to farm the side lanes, you know, so because you see a lot of the cores sitting on the side lanes, you're jungling, you have side blades, you have minus armor, so you push all the lanes quickly. You have traps that you have a great shot that silence. So all the tools that TA has is very, very good in the current meta.
Talk to me a little bit about, as we're seeing a very similar draft breakdown, by the way, to game number 1. In fact, so far we have the same bans in different orders, but with the same bans as we did in game 1. Talk to me, Winter, a little bit about what you think the difference is, because we haven't talked about this too much, but how the drafting change in terms of captain's pick has affected things. You know, now we've had Tundra with 2nd pick here. What are the new important picks? Before it used to always be 8th pick, right? You'd get your bans to protect it, blah, blah, blah. What do you think are the crucial points, or are we still figuring them out for this new drafting style?
Yeah, I think the teams are still figuring out. I didn't really get to play a lot of it, but I got to watch a couple.
Right.
So I feel like as the 2nd pick side, you have an extra ban in the first phase, so you can use it to remove a lot of the OP heroes. So I think that was a particular problem before, where the first pick team always has a choice to get an OP hero, a really, really strong hero, and then as the 2nd pick team, you have to try to maybe let everything loose so you get a trade, and then hopefully you survive the 1st and 2nd pick phase, and then you get to your beloved 24th pick for the 2nd phase. So you have an overall
the last word. You slam the gavel down.
Whereas right now, I feel like the first pick team, since you have you have one less ban in the first phase, but because you have an extra ban in the 2nd phase, I think it's easier for you to tailor around the 18th pick or the overall first pick hero. You can use the bans to further protect those heroes, but the key pick is still on the 18 for the first pick team, because you get to see 4 of the enemy heroes and decide the core that you want to pick. So I feel like overall it's a lot more balanced in that way. You have the 18 and the 2nd pick team has the 24th. Before it was you have
18 and 24.
Yeah, you have the 18 and 24. So it's very, very easy for the 2nd pick team to outfox you in the draft.
That's very true. That's very true. And of course, referring to the names, nomenclature used is basically how you see it in Dota buff. if you are a little bit confused over that. But yeah, it's still really fun to see this kind of a change. And now we're starting to see some different heroes as well, as the banning order has changed slightly. Last time around, Tundra did actually choose to ban out the Sven. Talon, I believe we saw in our graphic about a minute ago, Winter, did have priority this time, and they chose first pick.
Wow,
perhaps to get the Sven.
Look at this first face, man. Slug Sven. Holy shit. Things have
it's a bit of a wild one. Things have changed.
I've seen Ursa and Troll being used as a solution against Sven a lot. I think those are particularly effective. Same goes for Slug. Slug, you have the benefit of saving your team compared to Ursa and Troll, because Ursa and Troll is more about the Sven can't really man fight you. He can't win the man fight. But the advantage that Slug brings to the table is the shard, so you can actually save the hero that gets jumped on by Sven. And wherever you place Sven, you go in, and if you don't kill the target, you feel really bad in the team fight, because you have to pop all your arsenal, your BKB, your God Strength, and then if you don't get the kill immediately, you feel like the team fight's already over. And that's what Slug does to you. So Talon's gonna have to figure out how to deal with this depth shot, and you know what? Tundra has played some Slug support before, but it was Slugster. So I wonder if that's gonna be a thing for 9, or it's just gonna be an exclusive carry hero here.
I'm excited to see, especially as 9. I mean, it's still, of course, they grind before this tournament, but as they really get into the grind before TI, I think teams normally boot camp for like at least 3 weeks, don't they? Out in the NA region, the finest Dota region on Earth. What I was going to say. Oh, I'm excited to see how 9's hero pool will develop. I'm expecting to see him on our more standard support heroes, especially for at least his first couple of matches here. But I wouldn't be surprised if he does start breaking out a couple of different ones or some off-meta picks for him. For now, it's going to be something I think a bit more basic, as Tundra do go to the Warlock. So already some team fight being picked up as Talon go for the Shaker. I love this hero right now, man. He is so good. It's too much, I would say.
I mean, the Shaker is, I think, a pretty good pick here overall, because when you're playing against Warlock, you need some easy spell, to just cancel the upheaval. If you cannot cancel the upheaval in the team fights, you're gonna have a lot of problems in the team fight. And the other thing about Shaker is also he's good at catching out the Slug, because Slug is a very slippery hero. So the benefit of dealing with Slug is you can always fissure from fog, so he cannot react, and then you follow up with your Echo Spin. So
that's a good point.
He's a very good hero at catching out the Slug. And they are gonna go back for their bench once again. So they have this save / damage amp to help the carry. So they're gonna have a lot of I think bursty damage, in the early fights. But those supports, Bench and Earthshaker, they're not the best early game, They are kind of weak, I would say, early game until you get your levels. They need their levels a lot. They are very level dependent. Whereas Warlock's a lot stronger in the early game. And once you get level 6, it's very hard for the enemy to take a team fight against you. And they follow up with a Beastmaster Skyrath. So they have team fight from Warlock. And they are following up with basically catch, with the Raw and the Skyrath Mystic Spare to kill off heroes. So when you have catch and you have superior team fight, it makes it very, very hard for the enemy to play the game. And on top of that, you have the GPS Slug. He's gonna detect the wards. He's gonna kill the vision. So you have vision, you have team fight, you have the you have the catch. So you have everything.
Sonar is a little bit of a better analogy.
Okay, fine, Sonar. What the hell?
Because he's underwater, and it's more of like you have to kind of figure it out. GPS tells you to turn left when you should turn right, especially here in KO. It gets you lost all the time. But that's one.
That's why I'm always lost when I'm going to your house.
That makes a lot of sense. You take the wrong turn, and I'll see you in 30 minutes, Winter. Okay, we're going to see the Neta Classic, right? 33 Beastmaster. This hero is going to have a not too terrible of a time into this lane, but does require a bit of micro on the summons, of course. And what I really wanted to get to, we'll come back to this beast, I'm sure, because he's going to start to take over the game, and this is, of course, a Tundra Classic for him. But this is, I expect, to be 9 on the Skyrath Mage. He actually just played right before they started. He finished a pub about an hour before the game started today.
On the case.
Yeah, he played a Skyrath Mage, and let me tell you, Winter, he played a greedy Skyrath Mage. He went for that Pavis straight into the Ag Scepter. He was.
Oh yeah, you were mentioning about. I actually meant to say something before when you were talking about how you feel like his hero pool will develop on 9. I feel like he's gonna play standard heroes. but he's gonna play them greedy.
Okay.
I think that's the difference, you know. Like he's gonna play the whatever the meta needs him to play, because you can't have two guys playing weird heroes. You can only allow one, and it's gonna be top turn already, right? So 9, he has to be the obedient one. You know, I have to play the meta. What's good for the meta? Sky. You have to play Dark Willow. You have to play Shadow Demon. Whatever support that fits the draft. And I feel like he's gonna play those heroes, but he's gonna be greedy.
Okay. Well, I'm sure we might get an opportunity to talk about how that greed might backfire. We talked about it a little bit last game. We'll see how the lanes play out, right? Because this is a very aggressive lane, this Beastmaster Skywrath. Really good range, tons of slow, so you can't just like skip the creep against him either, right? Because they'll just slow you and kill you. So this could be a little bit troublesome for them. I think this is going to be set to be a core shaker, if I'm not mistaken. Is that going to be a Makoto shaker or a Jabs shaker? What are you thinking here? Or a core Venge, even?
Good question. I think Core Venge is what I prefer over the support Venge, because it removes the weaker laning phase, early game lane. Because if you have Venge and plus a strong position for, I think the lane's a lot more, especially at +4 that gives you a kill threat in the lane with your stun, you know. So that's what I prefer to see, because you need to get to the Axe timing. You know, as a support, it's kind of hard to farm the Axe, but as a core, it's a lot easier, and you have because you're a universal hero, so you have a lot of damage in the lane to last hit and deny creeps, and because you can also reduce the enemy's right click damage with the Terror, so it gives you a lot of advantage in terms of CSing, because Venge is always like a weak CSer, but right now she's not. That's
same thing with like Darkseer, right? So this weird thing where they've turned into good right clickers. I've just looked at the Dota 2 Pro trackers. Lovely addition, thanks to the Smurf bans. All the pros are actually playing on their mains again. And Makoto has not played a game of Shaker lately. I think he's a little bit of an easier mid hero to play, because especially with the Enchant Totem, you just out deny and out CS fairly easily. Jabs has played a couple games of the Shaker in the off lane, it seems. So just off of that, I would expect Jabs to take it. But I think if Talon are given an opportunity to play it mid, they wouldn't mind flexing it.
I feel like the Shaker is Q's hero. He always plays all these melee heroes, and maybe it's like some Shaker with Venge on off lane, and then you have the Kotal to deal with the Beastmaster boss in the lane with the Sven. I think overall that lane setup feels stronger, and then they're gonna pick a mid hero, or the Kotal could be the mid hero, and they pick another position 5.
That's what I was coming to as well. I mean, we could maybe have a mid hero already, and perhaps we don't, right? I think this is going to be Coddle support, certainly. Now with the Primal, 23rd here, out from Talon. Okay. Good hero to follow up on the Vision.
Yeah, he's great against the Warlock and Skywrath. It's very easy, especially the Sky. You know, you just die if you see a Primal charging at you onslaught, and then just grab and kaboom, you're dead. So Skywrath really hates playing against Primal, and it gives them the range to follow up with the fissure. So you have a long range stun, and then Primal can actually just follow up with the fissure. So that's actually amazing for picking up heroes. And he's also just very, very stable, solid hero. It gives you damage, gives you catch, it gives you a big, heavy, piercing stun. So it gives you a lot of stuff, you know, in the game.
Yep. I was thinking it was going to be Monkey.
Monkey King.
We needed the Thompson hero against the Primal, against the Shaker. It's going to be at least the Monkey King. We'll see now.
Are they going to swap their lanes? Are they going to put a Kotal mid since they see a Monkey King mid?
Sorry, it's Makoto on the Primal Beast. That'll be the lane of choice here. And we have not locked in this Coddle. We haven't locked in Jabs' hero. Pardon me, but I expect it now to be the Shaker, and it is. SQ is going to lock in the Coddle. And no surprises here from the side of Tundra as far as their lineup goes. Everyone locking in who you would expect.
So what are they gonna do? They're just gonna like Chakra and spam Enchant Totem in this lane to just hitting the slug? Is that what's the plan right now?
Yeah, I mean, fun. It doesn't seem that bad. I think the problem ends up with this Warlock. You know, the strength of the Warlock and Fatal Bondsing you in the wave, and you end up not being able to really sustain through that. But yeah, I mean, that sounds like a plan to me.
It's gonna be a battle of like who can deward and pull the wave, you know, because Warlock's gonna push the wave, right? Ideally, what he wants to do is he pushes the wave with Fatal Bonds, and he gets the pull to deny the creep waves behind. So it's gonna be a battle between the two supports, the Warlock and the Kotal, to try to stop each other from pulling the waves and try to let the cause last hit alone. And if actually that happens, the start lane's Shaker, I think Shaker is actually gonna come out on top. You enchant and you just get better trade-offs with the right click.
I agree, especially with like a casual wave of terror or the magic missile. Like
Yeah.
the threat of that looming, I think, is a little bit scarier
But-
because of the amount of burst you have in that lane.
Yeah, but if the lane becomes a 2v2 where the Warlock can sit in the lane and spam his Fatal Bonds and harass the Earthshaker, then I think the lane would be more comfortable for the Slug. So the Kotal's main focus there is to try to drag the Warlock away from the lane. So that's the off lane for Talon, and whereas for the safe lane they have a Sven and Venture. Not the strongest lane, but they do have a double stun. They're dealing with a Beastmaster and Skywrath. I think the more they get levels, the harder the lane is going to get for them. So they have to try to utilize the first, first two levels when they have the double stun to kill the Skywrath.
I fully expect Nine to be aware of the aggression that's coming his way. Whenever you do play this hero, you're always going to be having a lot of stuns, given your lack of armor. So we jump into game number two as well of Nine's career of playing support now on this stack. Thompson again on the mid lane. Monkey King already into a TP scroll is doesn't have a ward actually. Maybe just trying to get into a better position here or break enemy smokes before wards can get planted down. Nothing too surprising here. Smokes are gonna break. Thompson scouted in the river. Yeah, I think it's the TP scroll boys looking kind of sus. But I don't think we're gonna have any huge engagements here for the runes. Nine's got out early here, Winter. He's already blocked the easy camp up in the top lane. So that's what he's done with the smoke. This time making sure that they can't pull the wave back, so he's able to stand a little bit further away. Ideally, this wave is going to start pushing a little bit, even if just by accident with Wave of Terror onto the wave, and maybe once you start seeing some points into the cleave. So
Yeah,
a good start from him.
against the bench, I think this is a very smart move. Because like you mentioned, the wave is going to always push because of the Wave of Terror, unless you have to angle it in a way where you're only using it to land on the range creep. And
Gotta be a surgeon. I could see him doing it though, for sure. As we are going to get underway.
You can try to do that, but sometimes it's difficult to control it, you know?
3 runes for Tundra, by the way, as Nine's going to be able to just kind of easily walk on over. He had the confidence because he got an early observer down and is going to be able to make the runes 3-1. So a little advantage now, but otherwise no big action here before the horn.
Yeah, the lane to watch is going to be the Monkey King against Primal. Oh, man, this lane is going to be so much fun.
Ollie's missed, by the way, on sentry number 1. He's blocked the hard camp. That's what he wanted to do. But he's missed on the easy camp at D-Ward. So he's not going to get a camp to spawn here. But yeah, we'll take eyes on mid, right? Says we didn't really focus too much on this last time. Thompson turned into a creep, briefly confusing even me. But is not going to be able to get Jingu. Will be able to get Jingu. I think I haven't watched too many Chrysalis Monkey King games, but whenever I'm trying to see what the best Monkey King build is, I always watch him. But this is a mid lane monkey, so it's going to be played, I think, a little bit differently than how I'm used to seeing it. Let's see how many points into that Jingu Master he wants to go into. Down bottom, we're already starting to see a little bit of the harass that this Warlock is famous for right now these days. Let's see how your theory lines up with them being able to try and sustain or out harass here. Ooh, nice blinding light.
He actually has Fissure at level 1, so
Yeah.
he's not going to use the enchant and chakra spam. I guess he just wants to try to break even Fissure, last hit the range creep, and make sure they don't lose the lane.
Yeah, I guess that's the plan for the early levels here, especially with, again, you can see how hard it's already pushing. There's no hard camp that spawned.
What can you do?
Not much.
What can you do?
Oh no, here come the minor imps that do a ton of damage. There's the range creep picked up, and I think this wave is going to be easily secured under tower. Let's see. Top lane, 9 and Ollie fighting over the camp here. That might be the death of 9. I think he got a little bit too close here. He's missing out, of course, on a little bit of armor, just barely escaping with his life, actually. The stick charge is coming in clutch. 33 now. In the meantime, turning onto Ollie. He's got 1 point in these axes, and the boar now slow, starting to stack up. Bloodgrain thrown back towards 23 as 9 is going to be okay for now, but it does not matter because 23 is eventually going to be ran down, and I don't know if Ollie's out of this. Yeah, Ollie should be fine. Not enough mana here on the 2 enemy laners to get this.
Yeah, that's a massive outplay there by 9. He baited them in. He used his stick at the last possible moment to make them think that they can actually kill him. So they would actually go for that extra bit. And that actually made an opening for 33 to come in to clean up the kills. Very well done there.
You know, Winter, I've thought of a joke so terrible that now is the only time to use it as Tundra's mass restarting their PCs. I don't know if Talon can ever beat this lane, you know? Because think about it, right? They've got 23, right, in this lane. But even if you take 9 from 33, it's still 24. I mean, how can you beat him? Shout out to Lacoste.
Right, so,
I'm sure
according to math, you can never win in this.
Yeah, math doesn't lie, man. The numbers just do not lie. I don't know what Ollie is, but that's not a number. I know. It's the number lane up here. Who else are we missing? Who else in Dota's got a numbered name tag?
Oh my god, don't remind me of all the Chinese nicknames. Hold on.
Oh yeah?
Back in the day. What 72. There's one guy 70, that's the coach. And there is I mean, I can't remember the rest. I remember the 820. Do you know 820?
I can't say I do.
Another legendary player. They all use numbers for some reason. I think it's because it represents something. Yeah, it means something. You know, it's not exactly just numbers.
It's what is what it is. It's for the what. It's what it is in a lot of cases. I mean, it's fortuitous numbers. That's how it goes. For now, though, the numbers are looking a bit better for Tundra across the lanes as we still wait for them to reconnect. Already, you know, taking a nice lead, I think, as you'd.
How can I forget 420 Ferrari 420?
Oh yes, of course. I was thinking of it, but I couldn't remember. Embarrassingly, Winter. I should admit if it was 420 or 520. For some reason, I thought it was 5.
520 is another one.
Is it? Well, you might very well get me on that one.
I know why you remember 520. 520 means I love you.
Ah, that's right.
Normally, it's a tactic that some of the guys use. You know.
Yeah, you've got 1437 as well out there who used to play. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of numbers. There's a lot of numbers in Dota here, but don't worry, folks. We're done discussing it as Tundra have reconnected, and will be able to give us a little bit more Dota that we all came for. You can see, though, I mean, mid lane Makoto has just been forced to onslaught away. So Thompson, with 2 points in Jingu Master, very comfortable in this lane already.
Yeah, I mean, you said that you wonder how many points he's going to get. Oh, 9. He's going to...
9 denied himself, quote unquote.
He denied himself. So he normally he gets like... I think 4 points. You know, if his lane is going well, he'll get actually 4 points in a Jingu. It's just 1 point in the 3 dance to run around to kill people. I mean, that's the most aggressive build you can get if you get a good start.
I see no reason why he wouldn't want to do that more, to be honest. It's already looking pretty comfortable in this mid lane for him. He's a little bit worse for wear in terms of HP, but with the casual Orb of Corrosion, Orb of Venom, pardon me, he's going to be able to always kind of keep an advantage over the Primal Beast and stay on top of him. 2 points now in the stun, which means, of course, he'll be able to lifesteal for a bit more if he needs to use that.
I mean, if you're primal in this matchup, you are just trying to play to 50-50 even out the lane. So you're pushing out waves with onslaught, trample, and you're getting runes, the bounty runes, the water runes, the power runes, and you just try to avoid.
Bottom, by the way, is what I wanted to say. Jabs may... No, he'll be okay. Not enough cooldown, really, for Slark to reliably make the catch there. But it's Q who's going to be able to drag the wave. So he has kind of stolen those on over. We'll see how Tundra attempt to neutralize this, as there's not really much of a small camp either to be farmed. So Skitter's just going to have to tank it a little bit.
This is the back to the tower. This is precisely what the
Makoto in the mid lane. It's 9 making the rotation, and Thompson easily has the kill. The slows are overwhelming there, Winter.
Yeah, this is a very, very good move here by 9. Whenever you have a winning matchup in your mid lane, you have to try to find opportunities to break the lane apart by getting a kill. And
Ollie's gonna die. There's no way out of it for this one. Yeah.
I mean, this Gyrath is just doing amazing things for his team right now.
Really, really good moves there. 33, I mean, he's a bit more comfortable in this lane now that he has Helm of the Iron Will. Remember, Great Cleave no longer, or any Cleave no longer ignores armor. It hasn't for a couple of years now at least, so this aids him greatly in being able to sustain easily in this lane, freeing up 9 to make these rotations. Really great move there. Speaking of armor, this plate mail for the phase boots for the Primal cannot come soon enough for Makoto. He is struggling now after that rotation. He's going to have to look maybe into other lanes.
He's going to have to stack and just try to play to even things out. You know, this is a tough lane for him. There's not much he can do. Has to just play for the levels. And bot lane is also not going that well for Jabs. You know, so they are having two lanes that are struggling.
Yeah, the Coddle, fortunately, as if you've ever seen a game of Insania Coddle, you'll know this by now. One of the best stackers in the game. Second to maybe only, like, I guess, a Meepo or, you know, some kind of micro hero, but he really excels and it's super easy to do. So he's already started stacking in the triangle in preparation and giving Jabs a little bit more time to get some solo XP. 9 is going to be trapped in a bit of an awkward spot here. They did commit both stuns already, but especially with Makoto rotating on through here, there's just no way out for him as he is going to perish behind the tier 1 tower. There is a third hero here, though. Snake did make the rotation on over, I think unscouted. See if he's able to really make much of a difference here, but this is already a pretty big wave starting to push. No, it's not going to be able to get any tower damage, I think, in with the catapult. I think that was the goal here, but it's just not going to pan out.
Yeah, I mean, this is the benefit of having a bench. You can defend this kind of situations easily, even though they bring an extra hero from the twin gate. And 9 is gonna, however, TP bot, you know. Yeah. They feel like Earthshaker should be alone without the rotations being forced up.
Yeah, a good read. Yeah, there's another hero is sitting in the mid lane right now for Talon. Nice fissure onto 2. Jabs slow to a crawl. Jabs thinking about turning as he does have Q now teleporting back to aid him, but a scary moment here as Jabs, I don't think he's quite out of this one yet. 9 shooting another concussive shot at him, but not enough damage. Double bracers here really starting to pay off for Jabs. Action in the top lane, however, as Thompson does rotate on over. Look at the damage from the Fatal Bonds. Not a chance here for Ollie's. Ran down underneath his own tier 1 tower. 23 forced to retreat as well.
And it's
down bottom. Makoto rotating now onto the Slark. Skitter, having already leapt away, easily goes down. So at least Makoto, I mean, having a terrible time in the mid lane, but finding success on his rotations. Certainly a way for him to kind of recover and stabilize what has been a very difficult laning stage for him.
Yeah, he has to be able to control runes and just find all these small little gangs, you know. Like before the Slark reaches level 6, Primal is still a very, very good hero at picking him up with the trample.
This is just kind of like the Beastmaster effect, isn't it? That Tundra really, this is how they're able to break down games and really, you know, always come out with a strong advantage out from the laning stage into the mid game. You can see how early lanes have broken down.
I think this game is more on the Skyrough. Like 9
really?
He played the amazing early game, like how he baited the first kill for Beast, and then after the first kill, he was able to leave him alone and set up the kill at 4 minutes in the mid lane. And after that, the whole game just became really difficult for Talon, you know, because they lost 2 lanes already. Actually, they lost all 3 lanes.
Yeah.
But basically, the Skyrough won top and he won mid.
It's true. The point I was making there was it's comfortably where Tundra like to take games, right? Especially with 33 on one of his classic heroes. He already has the Helm 1 completed, so only expect the push to get a little bit more serious. Thompson down in the bottom lane with the shield rune active. No way out of this one here for Jabs. He is going to be picked off. Skitter even popping the Shadow Dance there, I guess just for the HP regen. Not really
in case,
just in case, I guess. Yeah, I mean, not close to level 6. I think not enough units around for the Echo, but you never know.
Middle tower is under attack.
Better to be safe than sorry. When you're ahead, we saw how kills can actually turn the game around. Like the previous game and Talon, they were ahead in the early game, 3K, 7 minutes, a couple of kills, the lead is gone.
Yeah, Talon kind of getting baited in by Snake King there, but 33's returned to finish off the tower here with the Satyr Tormentor in tow. Don't expect Talon to be able to defend this tier 1 much longer. Down bottom as well, Thompson is just not leaving any quarter for Jabs, even if he is going to have to lead them out of the Wukong's command because they missed on the lockdown there. So Jabs able to get a little bit more farm then.
Yeah, so right now Thompson has his Jingu Mastery Max, so he's really, really strong at ganking the side lanes or even rotating anywhere he pleases. Like he's basically the strongest hero right now on the map with this build. And Talon has to try to avoid him, you know. Have to try to get some stacks going on for the Sven, try to give him some time to farm and hope that the Primal and the Shaker can hold the game together, you know, defend the towers, go for pickoffs so that the Sven has some time to catch up.
Yeah, I mean, his early game has been basically neutered and hampered. It's tough for him to make moves anywhere else around the map. And for now, it's going to be Tundra just kind of farming comfortably. 33 doing his thing, taking over the map, farming his way towards the Helm of the Overlord, I believe I saw just there. And eventually the push and the choke is going to really start coming out. Oh, Vlad's part of it. Yeah.
Once the Warlock has level 6, they can just force any tower they want to. And he's almost there. He's like a couple of creeps away. And Talon is going to start to struggle. I don't see what can they do to deal with the Warlock Golem at this point of the game. Sven still needs some time to farm. So they're going to probably have to surrender some parts of the map and try to get towards their timing.
They really got to pick their fights.
They're going to smoke right now. They're going to try to reclaim the top area. Snaking already got his level 6.
This is a big investment. I think Snane knows what's coming. Pings are coming out. He's going to stop and dig a shovel. Oh, he picks up a rune. That might be the death of him, though. As he's going to be grabbed. There's the Pulverize coming through. 33, struggling to get out the Primal Roar. Eventually, we'll be able to do so. Snake turning with the wand. Dobson in as well. Blinding Light, doing some good work here. Is going to allow Q to run a bit further away, but it's still going to be, leaving a wake of destruction in their midst. They've lost Ollie. Dobson really looking for this kill. Might be able to get it. Nope. Solar Bind. Yeah, into the Mystic Flare. Nice coordination between the two. The right clicks coming out from 9. Eventually pick him off. And it's, a kill that Thompson's not too dissatisfied at having, especially because he conveniently died right underneath the tier 1 tower.
I mean, he would love to get the last hit of the tower as well, if he can. Get to his Echo Saber.
I don't really know if Talon can afford to defend this. They're still pretty far from the Blink Dagger on Jabs, and that's really the only team fight that they've got that's kind of,
What do you think about Jab?
Yeah, he might just be dead. There's no Mystic Flare for 20 seconds. Jabs might just go down to the right clicks, however, as he's going to drop the Echo Q in the vicinity. Just completely chunk through 9. There's that lack of armor for you. And fortunately for Skitter, he activated the Shadow Dance, so he's able to get out of harm's way.
That's not so bad, They fought so many heroes. They have an Observer Ward in the lane, so they see 4 hero spot. I mean, if you're a support, you see the enemy team bringing 4 heroes to kill you. Like, whatever, Based for my team, I guess. It's not worth it for them to kill me.
9 was worth a pretty penny, though. 300 gold, it's not too much, but it is going to just barely get Jabs across the line.
In general, you're fine with this,
Yes,
in this kind of
of course. Of course. I'm just trying to hype up Talon a little bit, Winter. Oh my goodness, Winter, he always hates all this.
You told me not to be biased to Talon.
Oh, goodness. 23 coming along nicely towards all of his items, though. Looks like Echo Saber for him is going to be nearly completed, but still kind of struggling for Talon around the map. The first bout of items are coming, though. Makoto with his Blade Mail, Blink Dagger now for Jabs is completed, and then Echo Saber Mask of Madness for 23 Savage. But they're still fighting into some pretty mean items as well, aren't they? Skitters felt comfortable to go for the Midas this game, so his farm quickly accelerating. 33 has himself now Helm 2. Just about. Needs a couple more last hits, which he's about to complete. And, of course, Thompson, I think that's going to be Echo flying his way. Yeah,
bot lane, they're trying to kick Skitter out of this lane with the blink.
They might catch him. Ooh, the fissure from range. Can't quite get him in time. Tough catch there. I think maybe they would have needed a swap out to try and get him immediately into that Pulverize.
I think they have to, chain the fissure and the onslaught together. Then follow it up with the grab from the Primal.
Counter smoke is coming. Thompson even surprised me. Ollie,
nice swap.
We'll get off the swap. Might save Q here, but should condemn Ollie. Either way, it's going to stop Thompson and the rest of Tundra from getting too much more out from this potentially disastrous swap.
Wow, they intentionally gave him the buff as well on the Jingle, so now he has the buff. He's running bot.
There he is. He's a banana. There he goes. I don't know what he'll find.
Dangerous banana,
That it is. You can't see it, but this banana's got Jingu mastery. This Pisang Higoring you. Careful, though. Yeah, there he goes on the Q. Q was not expecting that. Thompson, they're going to drop the rock on him, but it's defensively and able to aid him in fighting against 23 Savage. His second bout now of the Jingu Mastery leaves 23 absolutely nowhere to go. Makoto charging on through now with the trample as Ollie. He's being jumped down now by Skitter. They've gotten through 9 at the very least, but Ollie falling low. Echo Slime into the stacked Ancients. That does some work. See you later, Thompson. 500 gold into the pocket now of Makoto as Skitter's unable to connect on that last pounce. Talon Esports might not be too unhappy with how that turned out. I think Jabs ended up getting most of the bouncy anyway from Echo slamming the Ancients.
I mean, the good news for Tundra is the Sven is dead, you know. But you're right, you know, Talon can't be too upset about that trade. You're behind. Any even trade is great for you. You got the kill streak bounty of the Monkey King. I think you're happy. You can't have everything, you know. I mean, ideally, perfectly, if Sven doesn't die and you get the kill on Monkey, that's perfect.
Yeah, I mean, oh yeah, that's playing into the helm of the Overlord as a coddle. Always really sad when you die to just some random ancient. And maybe Jab's gonna be up next. He's trying to TP away. Oh, the damage is overwhelming, Winter.
Yeah, and the inner beast aura with the Monkey King, so he has a lot of attack speed.
Too true. They might have even frenzied him, I think is what it's called on the Thunderhide. Yeah, I mean, just 33, showing why you don't want to really give this guy a zoo hero if you can avoid it. He's a zoo master. What's it called? The ringleader, I believe. The guy who plays with the lion at the circus. Is that what he's called? Ringleader, I think.
Nope. The only thing I know is the pack leader.
Pack leader. He's a zoologist, I believe. We'll just call him the zoologist. I know that's the wrong word, but that's totally fine with me. And here's the push, right? Here's the problem is this part of the map is extremely profitable for Talon to try and be farming in, right? You've got your double ancients here that you can stack that Sven can easily farm and try and get recovered. And Tundra, they're going to be taking it away from you. No chance.
This is the prime real estate on the map, you know, for Talon to farm.
It's the blue section in Monopoly.
Mayfair, I don't know.
It's not called that for most people, okay?
All right. What is it called for most people?
I mean, look, in the American version, it's called Boardwalk. In the ESL version, which you can get at the shop, it's called ESL Katowice. I don't have an affiliate code, by the way, but, you know, they can always throw me some more change if you want to buy it. So it depends. It depends what it's going to be called.
It's going to be called 33 taking Roshan right now.
It's Netta is what it's called, basically. His name's on the deed. Wherever he goes, I think Talon kind of have to just feed control on over. And,
I mean, they have to try to fight, I feel.
How? What can they fight? I mean, I guess they've got Echo, but they don't have any vision up there. Anything.
Yeah, you're right. The Sven has no BKB. He can't fight.
Yeah, he just dies. I mean, even with BKB, you're going to need something. You're still going to have to rely on a swap.
Wait, he bought a stench? Oh, he's trying to get SNY to deal with their Beastmaster Raw, I guess.
Yeah,
but without BKB, you die to like the Fatal Bond, you die to Upheaval, you die to the Mystic Flare.
He needs the BKB. I think for Talon, you know, you taught me this concept, Winter. It's what period of time are they playing for in this game, right? They're not playing for this next 5 minutes. I think no, I don't know about 50. I think they're playing more for like 23, 24, 25. That's a fast tree, by the way. I've never seen a tree move that fast. And, well, now it'll be moving slower. Topson's going to be swapped on back. He has Aegis here. No one wants to go in on him. They know this is absolutely a bait. 23 is going to casually toss a stun his way as he retreats back up to the high ground. That is a scary sight. I'm sure if we had Topson's camera, he'd just be giggling right now. That's exactly the kind of play style that I think has led him to have such a following of fans and haters, to be honest. I mean, there's so many Topson haters. I'm sure every time Topson dies, there's people in chat that just kind of type out Topson or Flopson or whatever. Every time he wins, you know.
Yeah, his Pugna is my all-time favorite of all his heroes.
The Pugna, what was it?
Pugna.
Remember the Grimstroke, right, with the Pugna strap? That was disgusting. Couldn't dispel that spirit, the Phantom
Party.
I
know everybody talks about his Monkey King a lot, but his Pugna is legendary as well.
I think it's hard to top the Invoker, honestly, just for how flashy you can really be on that kind of a hero. The monkey, of course, is able to get this kind of jumps in. I think they know that there's a monkey in their midst. They've got to actually... Oh, no, they didn't cut him down. They tried to swap him down, but that doesn't count as a tree break. Does give Ollie a little bit of damage resist, but he's going to go down very quickly all the same. I mean, Talon, you know, it's unfortunately a sad game for them. They're not really getting to play much Dota here. But at the very least, they are, you know, they're minimizing their losses as much as they can. 33 is looking to put a stop to that, though. He blinks in, casually throws the roar, but he's completely alone. Oh, the Golem onto 2 into the Echo Slam. Tops it a bit worse for wear now, but still managing to fight through it, especially with the Jingu buff. He goes down. 9 dropping the Mystic Flare on top. Makoto pops the BKB, but this is just going to be able to escape. 33, maybe, you know, a couple seconds too early, but is going to be able to make the jump and set up for a team fight victory for the side of Tundra.
Yeah, this Monkey King is an absolute monster right now. He's just so scary, you know. He deals so much damage to you. Without BKB, your Sven can't really do much. I mean, that was a great echo, don't get me wrong, you know, by jabs. But it was just, unfortunately, just not enough, you know. They need to be able to jump when the Sven gets BKB and get that kind of echo and burst heroes right away. If the fight is a long fight, drawn out fight, Tundra is gonna win all those fights.
Take another look at that in the replay, but you can see just the two-man stun, Makoto. Yeah, he had BKB the whole time, but didn't have Pulverize because he had to use it immediately on counter initiation. So not really just a lot of moves to be made there, unfortunately. It's going to give at least Talon a little bit of breathing room here, as they will be able to group up and take down the Tormentor. Pardon me. What is this? Yeah, Recall. Okay. I mean, what else could you have gotten? The Venge Shard? I guess it would have been a little bit more valuable, I would say, for Ollie. But it's not make or break, like I said. Like I think the Lion Shard was last game for Snake.
Yeah, I think the Venge Shard is actually the best shot they have.
Oh yeah, actually that Warcry is ridiculous. I agree. But I don't know how late we're gonna have to. That's really the 50-minute shard, I would say. There's a DD room, by the way, for Skitter. Q is gonna have to pop the Force Staff. Those Force down tops him from the low ground, so it's Skitter who's gonna be able to receive the kill. This Shield Rune finally getting through, but gives him more than enough survivability to easily tank tier 3 towers. That's an invulnerable tier 3, by the way. That's how
they just kill them from outside of the base. Yep. This is when you're saying, get out of my game, man.
I think it's for Topson. I think you have to elevate that to the fountain. When you start getting fountain farms and comboed. Okay, well, I mean, Topson, they're going to be able to cut him down and kill him. That's only the Aegis, though. 23 trying to TP away, but no, the pounce from Skitter. The long range there, thanks to the Ag Scepter. No, Makoto, he BKBs to TP away, but 23 not as lucky. Skitter doesn't even let him auto-attack him as he was going to pop the Shadow Dance in order to secure the kill. Yeah, I mean, that's a little bit of a get out of my game for 23 Savage, for sure.
Yeah, the poor guy has no game, from the start. He has a bad lane, and then the mid game, he has not much space to farm.
And this was a first pick Sven, right? I mean, Talon, they chose first pick. That's what they got. Makoto, okay, nice swap out. They will trigger the roar, and they're going to at least stick the Ancient Black Dragon now onto Ollie, but really lacking the damage here. Is it a little bit too early for high ground, maybe? Just a bit.
I mean, they don't have the best heroes to hit high ground. I mean, the Monkey and the Slug, they're good at killing heroes, but they're also good at killing buildings. I mean, the Beastmaster with his creeps can be the building killers, but the other two cores can't really kill buildings easily. I think you just pump for your next Roshan. Play the map, control the map, get your next round of items, get the next Aegis, and then push with that.
I think something really interesting in the 734B patch that I wasn't really expecting to play out this much, but now that obviously Topson's been, I wouldn't say abusing it, but just using it very reliably, is this change to Mischief. You can see he's just casually popping it between camps, and when he's rotating between lanes. That, in addition to the casual point and tree dance he's taken, to allow him to really zip around the map. You gotta remember, that's a big deal. 10% move speed, given that after New Frontiers, how much bigger the map is. Monkey already didn't really have a problem traversing it before, but now it's even easier. That's nice utilization here by Topson for sure.
I mean, that's only fair. Like, he's a monkey. He should be able to move around fast.
I have to say, from talent, this smoke feels a little bit aimless. They don't have any wards down here.
It's a desperate one, I'll tell you. They need to hold an area to defend the ward, like a high ground, like what Oli has done right now, defend this area, because they really don't want to give up the Ancients.
All right. Unfortunately, you've got the Sonar Skitter here, able to detect enemies in the vicinity, because it's passive breaks, and he's going to immediately break Ollie wide open. That's his 6th stack now of the permanent agility. Okay, that's pretty deep. They're just going to be jumping down to the high ground now. Japs has an Ag Scepter fully completed alongside this Blink Dagger, giving him a lot of mobility here. Makoto thinking he wants to start off the fight. Thompson is going to be able to hold on so far to the Wukong's command. Rock is dropped, but not really having such a great effect, as at least Skitter is going to be able to take down Ollie. Mystic Flare utilized as well for that. I did hear that. Snake King sending in the Golem, but 23 able to fight through this thing for now. It's going to be just a loss onto the Vengeful Spirit. Another decent high ground hold here for Talon. They don't really get much, but they will be able to repel Tundra. Costly, though. I mean, they have to use everything but BKB. Everything but BKB on Makoto.
I mean, that's the thing when you go for this kind of build with the spam, Echo, Master Madness, and then you go SMY. You have to farm so long before you can fight. If you have a really good game, you're snowballing really hard, maybe it can work, you know. But in a game like this, I feel like I just don't see how the build can actually work, you know. It takes too long. I get why he's doing it, you know, but it just takes too long. And I don't know if he has time.
It's bold, especially. I mean, you know, we get why he's doing it, but you know, this is kind of Tundra's bread and butter, right? It's the IO Lesh for Tundra, if you know, to compare them to Game and Gladiators, for example. Like, you know what it does, you know it hits hard, they know how to execute on this timing, they're very comfortable on it, and they dropped it well around it, right? Like you said, I think even just having a Monkey King getting buffed by the Inner Beast Aura is more than enough of synergy, I think, for this to really pop off as much as it needs to. 23 doesn't have BKB, remember. They need to hit him with a swap or a force F, and will do so. Jabs jumped in there, didn't like what he saw because it was 5 heroes, says no thank you, and we'll go ahead and blink on back. That was a bit scary.
Yep. Roche is about to spawn in 10 seconds and Tundra knows it. They're just waiting and biding their time and just not trying to overextend too much. This is the worst time to take a bad fight and die because you lose Roche.
That's true. And then the game feels, I mean, how can you do it from there, really? Careful here, 23. Oh, he really wants to finish farming this. Might be able to pick up a free kill onto 9. He doesn't even attack that fast, to be honest. The Roar is forced out. Echo Slime from behind. They're going to try and get through 33 now. Fancy little flip out from Jabs, but in goes Thompson now. Wukong's command is out. 33 is going to perish. 9 still alive, as it's going to be the supports left behind to the Wukong's command. Thompson covered by the BKB, jumping for more. Finds 2 cores now with the Boundless Strike as Skitter unleashed in the fight. Oh, no. Poor 23. Just trying to start farming, but he's going to be swiped on down by, the neutral creeps of all thing. Okay, I mean, a small victory here, but it's still going to end up in the death of seemingly 4 cores as they even now drop the rock now onto Makoto. Jabs TP on back in. He's going to be hit with the stun, and oh no, the Fissure buying him a bit of time. Tundra will not go diving into the fountain. They got what they came for. 4 dead here on the side of Talon. I mean, they try and fight where they can't. They try and find fights where they can't, but the Sven couldn't even burst through a sky.
One roll and he's done, you know. And the Skyrim didn't even build any.
No,
I mean, he has the cape. Okay, so he has 1 miss.
Okay, I mean, that's kind of a big deal. But with Echo Saber, I mean, it feels, oh, well, it was disassembled. Okay, you know, maybe. But still tough. Very tough here, as we can see a replay of the fight. Echo Slime also used pretty early. You know, I think it's one of those spells where you just have to just use it sometimes, and Jabs, you know, feeling pressure, can't afford to wait for the perfect 5-man Echo in the Roche pit. He's just kind of throw that thing out, right? Nets them the kill onto 33, but now it means they have a little bit less team fight as they do look to try and contest this Roche. Echo Slam back up in 20 seconds here, Winter, as Tundra starting up the Roche. Talon making a go for this. I don't know if they make it in time.
This is the last time they have to fight here.
I mean, and they're not going to make it in time, I reckon. Roche down to 1,500 HP. Look at the positioning of these supports as well on the outside as Jabs throws in the Fissure. Skitter's already claimed the Aegis, a second Aegis, I guess, after their one in Singapore. And Thompson maybe looking for a third with this roster. Is going to be stunned instead. Follow up damage. Ooh, that's so annoying, man. The Depth Shroud out from Skitter immediately is going to stop the counter initiation that Talon were going for. Now they're throwing down the Echo Slam. Good damage onto 2 at the very least. Skitter is a bit low, but does get off that Shadow Dance. Jumping now back on to 23. Savage cannot fight through this one. They're going to finally get to that first life of the Slark, but Thompson unleashed the entire fight, taking down 2. And Snaking as well with the Fatal Bonds. Just upheaval, leaving Talon nowhere to go. Tundra Esports looking like they're marching straight towards a victory here in game number 2, Winter.
Yeah, nice little cheeky cheese passing over to Thompson there. He made room and then he was able to survive. Talon think that they could have killed the monkey, but didn't really calculate that they gave him the cheese. So they went all in on him and couldn't kill him.
Close, but no cigar there, unfortunately. That on top of Depth Shroud. And it's just so frustrating, right? This Slark now, even as a first pick, having some save, that even with all this AoE damage, Talon are not able to really cut through it. This will be Mega's Talon, credit to them, that they're going to play this one out to the very bitter end, but their days in this game are numbered by, you know, single digits. I don't really see any reason for Tundra to need to try and get back here or be too scared. Yeah, they still have Golem. And it will drop. Stun connects onto 2. Fatal Bonds only onto 2 as Ollie's deleted from the game. Dead for another 30 seconds. Death number 12 for him. A tough game for Talon as 23 pops the God Strength, trying to find something in this fight. Skitter is going to be now, just jumping on in, supporting Thompson as he is actually stuck behind Fissure, so is going to only put down a zoning Wukong's command. They will be able to cut through jabs quite easily, though. Another roar catching him out as Skitter finding them and farming them outside of the base. There's the GG, well played. It's going to be Tundra taking this one 2-0 over the side of Talon.
Yeah, with the celebratory dust pan right there in front of the enemy base.
Oh, yeah. Well, a couple fireworks for them, if you will. And honestly, game 2, less of a challenge than game 1 was, to say the least. I think Talon with a much more realistic chance in game 1, even, coming out of the lanes looking really good, winning 2, maybe even arguably 3 of those lanes in game 1, but here are just not going to be able to repeat their success. Their draft not doing them any favors. And 9, popping off already on his debut for support, able to, as you say, win that top lane and maybe even win that mid lane as well on the support Skywrath node. Very well played.
Yeah, I mean, I can see why in the Russian stream when they were interviewing Solo said that the Neil Tundra is very, very scary after the roster change. I can see why. There's a very apparent synergy between 33 and 9 in the lane. And because 9 is a mid laner, he knows what he needs to do to help Topson in the game. And I feel like in this kind of like a team, Topson can actually just do whatever he wants. He's just like the last piece of the puzzle. Whatever the draft has allowed him, he's just going to be able to play anything that counters the opponent. And he's going to have an amazing game because of the whole setup.
Look at this. Aoi wasting no time. They're immediately pulling up the tape and starting to figure out what went wrong or what could have gone better in this series.
That's
and
the
look how to
coach's
improve.
job, man. Even though you win, you have to go back and figure out, here, minute 6.5. Why did you do this? Why? Go back to the replay, point, timestamp it, and tell the player to come back and rectify it the next game.
Yeah, that's going to be the goal for them. And Tundra's next game is going to be a little later on. They're on the main channel, not after this series, but after this next series, where they take on Shopify Rebellion. But stick around, guys, because we're actually going to be going to a short break. But right after that, we are going to set up an interview with one of the Tundra members to get their thoughts after this game. So we'll be right back with an interview with Tundra Esports.
I'm a creature with no skeleton inside your hands. Got no home address, I come and go as you come in. And it's fine with me, it's fine. And it's fine with me, promise that it's fine.
Welcome back, everyone. This game, a highlight reel for that man, or banana, I guess, more specifically, or tree. Sometimes a creep, sometimes he turned into a tango or a TP scroll. Either way, Topson, shapeshifter, and game winner for his first game here on the new and improved Talon. Sorry, make that Tundra roster. This is really just the Topson highlight reel. Fair enough. I mean, really, a lot of that mid-early game momentum, all based off of him. Makoto just had no game. Like I said at one point, Talon didn't really get to play Dota this game, Winter. Tough loss.
Yeah, they couldn't cage the monkey. So as a result, they have no game. And Thompson just showed his class for sure. He understood the heroes, he knew what he needed to do in the game. Like the small little things, you know, like even going when he's ganking, he tells his team to purposely give him the stack even though the kill is already secured so he can move on with the stack to the next kill. Those are the things that, you know, will win you the game.
And executed, maybe not to perfection, but flawlessly enough for it to feel like there was never really a chance there for Talon to really come back. Some desperate Roche fights, some desperate fights, some aimless attempts, you know. The fact that, you know, we didn't mention this actually, but just thinking about it, Winter, that you have 33 on a Beastmaster, that you have another Vision hero on Skitter, and then on top of that, you have a Monkey King, who's a hero that can really abuse a Vision advantage because of the way he can jump from trees and from fog, made that game feel pretty much impossible. It felt like really no Vision, no counterplay, and unfortunately not a plan for Talon, and it's going to be a hard game too, difficult game too for them.
Yeah, their lanes got punished a little too hard, you know. The bench, the Shaker, Kotal lane. I mean, those heroes are not that great in the lane to begin with, you know. So I feel like they drafted weaker lanes and Tundra just exploited that, you know. They were able to snowball from the side lanes, and then they have this overall last pick, Monkey King, which is just going to win his lane. So it means that off the draft, you have 3 favorable lanes, you know. And in Dota, I always say when you have 3 favorable lanes, it's very hard to lose the game. And they have to go back to the drawing board and figure out how to balance the draft once again, the priorities. And they have to remember lanes are important, you know, because I feel like the second game's draft, they have an idea, but they forgot about the importance of the laning phase. And they went down the road of that idea too much, and they forgot about at least they have to have some sort of basic lane that they can play, you know. And they drafted lanes that they couldn't play, and game was over.
And you know, I think compared to their game 1 performance, where Talon clearly had an idea of how they wanted to play, and the execution just not coming together, or the jumps not quite right or working out, I think for them in game 2, unfortunately, you know, not as much to be learned. Maybe just an adjustment to this new draft style. I believe this is the first official that Talon would have played with this new draft style. Obviously, they have scrimmed, I'm sure, a number of times, but who knows? Maybe the pressure of your first official kind of getting to you, and I don't know, right? But I think, yeah, like you're saying, game 2, I think a little bit more dependent on that draft, and still eager to seeing how Talon, how they're gonna be able to do as we progress later into the tournament, where they tend to be a bit of a stronger team.
Yep. A lot of these long events are about how much the team can adapt and learn. Like losing is fine, but how much do you get from the game that you lost, you know? I think that is the defines the character of the team. Whether they can it's going to a bad run of losing games, you know. So they're gonna be put to the test for sure, losing their first series, and hopefully for the C fans they can bounce back.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I hope so as well, as for the C fans, because I would consider myself one of them. Talon's next game actually is going to be on this channel, but after our following series, which is Quest and Bet Boom, Talon are taking on 9 Pandas here in just about 3.5 hours or so. For now, we are about to do our interview here, I believe. Winter, no spoilers. Yes, I did see. I think it's going to be 9 here. We'll see sometimes the players do this really cute thing where they join on someone else's PC, and then it ends up being another player. But I don't know. I'm really interested to talk to 9 here and see how he's adjusting to his new position, because he made it look really easy, especially in that game too.
Yeah, time to ask the man that played with the pisang goreng. How does he feel having a banana peel running around the map, you know, and killing everyone?
That's true. That's true. I'm curious to see what he thinks about, you know, a so-called honeymoon period. You know, what makes this team different, and why it's going to continue succeeding. Because they looked really good there. And again, I think Tundra's difficulties in their latest tournaments have been unfortunately due to them, you know, not really being able to field a consistent roster just because, unfortunately, of health issues. But now, seemingly with a roster that's going to be set until the end of October, eager to see what they have in store for us and how the team continues to click. I mean, this team's going to be pretty annoying to draft against. Not only do you have Aoi, but you've got a couple other heroes and player combinations that make life a little bit difficult. And we have, I believe, 9 with us now ready for our little interview, so we can ask him himself. 9, congratulations. Welcome to being a support player, man. How's it feel?
Hey, thank you. Feels good, honestly. The role is a lot of fun, and the biggest thing is just like learning again. Like I'm actually learning again in Dota, like a lot, day by day. So it's very exciting.
9, if I'm not mistaken, I was going through your Wikipedia and your Dota buff history. I think this is the first time you've officially played support in officials, right?
Yeah, I was mid player my whole competitive life.
Yeah. I'm just kind of curious, like, you know, every time you talk about a player making a position change, there's always, you know, I like to say you can take the player out of the position, but you can't take the position out of the player, right? So with your mid mindset moving to position 4, like, what advantages do you think you have moving from the mid lane to a position 4 role instead?
It's hard to say, honestly. I think probably, like, I feel like I can be better at spellcasting than most subs, like sub players there are, but I just don't have the experience yet. So I think that is like the main thing that I need to work on.
And hi 9. You mentioned that you missed the learning part about the game. Do you feel like in the game right now, whenever a player plays a certain role a very long time, then he kind of will find it hard to learn the game again, and he needs to, like you say, you know, change to a different role to relearn the game again? And would that be something that you would encourage other players to do if they want to learn?
I mean, I wouldn't encourage them to do it if they are like sticking to their position. But however, if Dota like is maybe a little bit stale for you, I think learning a new position is extremely fun. It's just like, I just feel like I'm playing Dota again as a beginner, you know, when you started and you're learning so much. Now, like, I have new heroes to play, I have new like habits and a new game plan, and it's just something that I need to work on every day. While as like if you play the lane, like a role for a couple of years, it becomes like more stale. Like, obviously, you can always learn, but it's not the same as going to a new role.
Yeah, and one more thing, do you miss the mid role, mid lane right now after playing 4?
When I started playing 4, I missed it. Like I was like getting mad when I couldn't carry games. But the more I played it, the more I also found like how to have impact, and I was like, now I don't really miss it. Like I just focus on position 4, and I don't even think about playing mid. Like I think I've played maybe 1 game of mid since I switched to 4. Like I just pick 4 every game.
I wanted to ask if you have any advice for non-professional players who normally just play one position. Any advice about picking up a separate role? You talked about how it's fun to rediscover a lot more about Dota, but anything else you could offer players switching roles?
I think you just should focus on like one hero at a time if you switch to a new role. I think it's not even good for top players because you will not get your role all the time. So I think it's good to have like 1 or 2 years on different roles that you know how to play. And I think it's good, especially for grinding. I mean, that's what I used to do as well, like back in the day.
Makes sense. We'll
Yeah,
let you go
one more
here.
question from
Oh,
me.
go ahead, go ahead.
Sorry, one more question from me. So who's the better mid player, you or Thompson?
Oh my god. I never really thought about it, and I mean, looking at how he plays right now, he's super good. Who's better? I don't know. Like,
Okay,
I
fair,
think we're
fair.
like
That's
on the
fair.
same level. Like, I don't know. I
That
just
sounds...
feel like mid players, like, or generally in Dota, like you can be so good at different things that it's really hard to say who's better. You just need like a team that fits with you.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the last question I wanted to ask you here was, do you believe in a honeymoon period for a team? You know, you've been on a couple different teams. Do you believe there's like a honeymoon period? And if so, what makes this team different for you? It's going to keep going into successful run at TI.
I mean, there's definitely a honeymoon period. And I just think that will not be the case for us because we just switched one player. I think usually that happens to new teams. It's like people respect each other a lot when you join a team. There's like no build up, you know, like you play best when you have no emotions build up or whatever. And then you play over a couple of months and there's like emotions building up over a couple of loses and something. And that's when things get stressful. I think that's why the honeymoon phase exists. And we don't really, like, we played for a long time. So just switching one players, I don't think we will have like a honeymoon phase.
Awesome. That's a super insightful answer. And congrats on a 2-0 on your official support debut, man. Really well played. And best of luck for the rest of the tournaments. We'll let you go now, 9 support player for Tundra Esports. Congrats again.
Thank you.
Lovely guy to talk to. That was super cool. Super insightful on why there's a honeymoon period in the first place. You know, having never obviously competed on a team, just a lowly caster, I never really considered that aspect of you know, team mentality, basically, right? How that stuff can build over time and how a fresh start can really reset the mental, you know.
Yeah, emotional baggage, you know. Sometimes you have to let it go to play well.
Yep. Sometimes, you know, you're just going to have to let the Omni Knight carry go, Winter. You can't let it weighing you down, my friend. For now, though, we are going to be going to a short break and allowing Winter to digest a little bit more from his TI days and prepare for our next series, which is going to be quite the banger, folks. We got ourselves Quest Esports taking on Bet Boom Team. That'll be going on in just about 10 minutes or so, so stay tuned, folks. Their second series coming up just after the break.
Wear your passion. Share your passion. Wherever, whenever. Gaming is a lifestyle. Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com. Leading on Dire's top tower. Radiant's top tower deserves just as much help as bottom. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
The underdogs from Western Europe just shy of their TI qualification chances. Flashing against them You know, big dogs really out from the Eastern European. Betboom taking on Quest Esports here as we are about to get underway with our second series of the day. Winter and myself here, Seeking Strike, bringing you the coverage for this upcoming series. And Winter, you know, we didn't get to see Quest too recently. I think their last appearance here in a big tournament would have been in those TI qualifiers, of course. But Betboom playing just now in the Dota tournament, struggling a little bit, which was surprising. I thought for sure that team was going to make a pretty deep run into the event, but did not really look super convincing in their games.
Yeah, probably gonna take some time to understand the patch. Patch actually changed a lot of things like the draft sequence, a small little balance to the heroes. So I think maybe people kind of forgot that every team has a different learning curve, like different time to learn the patch, and some teams just pick things up quicker, some slower, but it's all important that at the end of the day, the biggest tournaments, you want to do well there, you know. All these smaller events, you maybe want to use it as a stepping stone to figure out the patch, and one tournament loss doesn't mean that the team is already in bad shape, you know. It just means that they need more time to figure out the draft and whatever it is of the patch.
Very true. I was just, you know, expressing surprise considering how strong that they've looked in previous tournament runs and how well their roster changes have been really looking. I mean, impressive stuff out from them. You know, that roster change as well with Nightfall and Pure swapping positions. Nightfall's been a very fun player to follow throughout the years, as he did have that stint in NA. But, you know, focusing more onto Pure, who was an up-and-coming player, especially back in the Stockholm Major days. Very young, lots of potential. And, well, now into the off lane for him. And we can see a couple of his stats, right? Still very much a strong player and able to find the right jumps, I think, is what's always really impressed me about him as well. Even still when he was a carry, just his timing and tempos in fights have been impressive.
Yeah, he's really decisive as an offlaner with his jumps, especially on LC, X. I think those are his best heroes. I mean, even though before he played a lot of a Doom, everybody made fun of him because he kept playing Doom every game. But I think when he plays the initiating heroes like the Axe and LC, those are the heroes that he excels a lot. And I think he's also a very flexible player. You know, he plays a lot of the different heroes. He is not very, I would say he's not very greedy. Like for somebody who swapped to offlane from carry, maybe you would expect the person to play offlane in a very greedy way, but I feel like he's not. He always does the right things. And his biggest strength overall, I feel like, is his laning phase. He's very, very good in the lane. And he always tries to get a very, very small little advantages by doing small little things that you don't expect and win the lane from doing that.
Indeed. We'll take a look at their opponents, right? As Quest Esports making a couple of big dramatic roster changes as of late. But of course, familiarizing ourselves with the Quest roster. No more Amar, hasn't been for a while. But we'll take a look at that roster in just a moment. You know, that's been another team that I think is going to be really exciting to look at in terms of how strong they've looked. There's our new guy as well, right? Well, relatively. For the rest of the players, Toby, sorry, a player I've followed for a long time since he was on the Viking GG days, Ghost Frogs, Creep Wave. Very strong. I think interesting to take a look at him as well. But this team, they're young, right? They're young. They've turned a lot of heads in their recent tournaments, especially with the success that they found without Amar, surprising a lot of people. So, you know, I'm personally proud of that. The fact that they're able to continue finding success, you know, most lately, and Riyadh finishing in top 8, a very respectful finish for this team.
Yeah, personally, I feel like Toby is a better fit overall for their team compared to their previous stand-in, Malik. I think they needed somebody like it's a very greedy, can play the win condition kind of hero on the off lane. Kind of like Amar, where they got a lot of success when they were playing with him. I think Toby also plays kind of the same way. Like he plays different heroes, but he plays in the same way where he takes a lot of farm and he can be the win condition for his team. And so I feel like Toby is a good replacement for Amar, whereas when they had Malik before, Malik is more like a conventional offlaner where he plays more for the team. And I feel like because Noob is also a player that plays more for the team in the mid lane, so they needed an offlaner that's a little bit more greedy to balance everything out.
I think that makes a lot of sense, right? You talk about, you know, what it's like to be forming a new team, and I think as long as you can find similar characteristics to try and repeat a recipe of success, as perhaps Quest have purposefully done here, I should say, they may be able to continue that success. Always a fun team to watch as well. Very fast Dota, you know, kind of some innovative ideas, and very much looking forward to the series here. As our draft is getting underway very shortly. Any predictions, Winter, before we do see our draft, however?
Why do you make me do this?
I'll go first if you
Why?
want. I'm going to go with a boring
Okay.
answer. It's going to be a 1-1.
I'm gonna go with the boring 1-1 too.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a 1-1. I can't imagine a world where BetBoom lose this series 2-0. I think they've got one loss in them. But I don't think they have two. I think this team, I think they're going to be a little bit upset after the Dacha performance they had. I think they're going to at least have some strategy cooked up to find a win, put it underneath their belt.
I feel like Bad Boom is a team where when they get angry, they might play worse because people are tilted.
But I think that, yes, but I think they're ready for it this time. I think they have to be learning for that ahead of TI. You know, I think this is the kind of stepping stones, the kind of experience that you've been looking for. I think should they end up losing a game, what they'll probably end up doing is saying, don't worry, we have a draft prepared. We have a strat that we scrimmed with that we know that works. I think that's how they're going to be approaching this game. As our draft now is underway and live on your screens. We can see the opening picks coming through. Looks like Quest, first pick on Dire here, Winter.
First pick on Dire, like talking about the sides, like since you brought it up, Radiant and Dire, I feel like at the moment Radiant seems to be a little bit better in terms of the timing, because the 15-minute to 20-minute night time, whenever you're on Radiant, it's easy to get Roche at that time, especially when you have like a TA, when you have like any hero that builds a Dazzle or a support that's rushing Solar Crest, like a Nature's Prophet, for example, or a bench, you know, then it becomes very easy for you to abuse that, because it's natural for the Radiant side team to play on the top of the map. And speaking of Nature's Prophet, oh boy, he is back.
Yeah, he sneaks through. I just want to very quickly wrap up that thought you had on Cider pick. Just shouting out that BetBoom did have priority and chose Radiant. So Quest choosing first pick. Again, just keeping that in mind as we do start to see the development of this drafting meta. But I saw a Talon tweet. I meant to bring this up for our first series, but it's still relevant now. All 5 players also preferred the Radiant side as well for them. So it seems like there's a lot of people that share your thoughts here on the strength of side versus pick. And, well, BetBoom certainly share with you there. As we're back into the bans here after a couple of opening picks, NP does sneak through. Are you surprised to see that? Or do you think that this is going to be pretty par for the course as we start looking at a lot of our matches here?
Yeah, quite surprised. Quite surprised to see MP. Like, this hero is just... He's still powerful in the early game. Like, he got nerfed kind of a little bit. I think it's just a small little nerf. The hero is still very, very powerful. He got nerf base attack and the agility, so he doesn't trade as well, but it's still good enough for him to win the lane. And then after he wins your lane, what he does is he can basically buy whatever item the team needs. So he's very flexible and he helps you control the map and Roche. And more importantly, he wins the mid lane too, because you can TP and gank over. So normally the team with the Nature's Prophet would be able to win the mid lane. Because mid lanes, whenever we talk about it, it's always going to be like some 50-50 lane, you know, except for the last game where Topson was Monkey King against a Primal. But not usually it's like a 50-50, I'm going to farm, you're going to farm lane, you know. But Nature's Prophet can actually upset that balance in the lane.
Yeah, and he can do that in just more than mid, right? Which is a big one of his points of his strength. He can safely globally push as well the waves, which is just completely obnoxious. And again, I think we were mentioning the wave shove in game 1 where we saw the offlane Naga Siren for jabs, right? How effective that was at setting up kills and just forcing objectives. Eager to see now how Quests are going to be able to utilize the wave push, as we do get a number more of bans. Did want to point something out very quickly, Winter. Looking at games that have been completed, so not counting any of the drafts that may happen to be live alongside this one right now, MP was banned in 4 matches and ignored in the other 2. I believe he was a ban in our 2 games, if I'm not mistaken. So that's a little bit interesting. So far, Invoker is the only hero that has been banned every single draft 100% contest rate, never picked up once. Sven managing to sneak through in our game just previously, but did get destroyed. So only a couple of heroes with a 100% contest rate right now.
I like the Phoenix. Phoenix and Dark Willow. So you have the combo of the egg into the Terrorize, so you can protect the egg. But the Invoker is more like I feel like the reason why this hero is so contested is he is very annoying. Like, he's flexible too. You can play him as a position 4. Position 5 as well. I mean, I think it's almost the same, but I prefer him on 4. And you can play him on mid, you know. So the hero you can just pick the hero and it doesn't reveal anything of your draft. And he just does too many things in the game. He has disable, he has really good shot, he has mana burn, he has catch, he has damage because of the Sunstrike and the Meteor. Like, he just does way too many things in the game, and he's really strong in the lane. Because before, Invoker wasn't as strong in the lane. Right now, he's really strong in the lane with the changes to being universal and how the Quas Flex Exalt work.
Yeah, the orbs were so, I mean, they were so broken on release, but even still in his adjusted.
He's still very strong, yeah.
He's still really good. I mean, at least he's not ghost walking around at 3 minutes and being unkillable.
Oh my god, don't remind me of that.
Yeah,
oh
that was something,
like,
honestly.
I'm like, what the hell? Like, why is this Invoker here again? Why is he full HP again? Why?
I think Icefrog forgot about Ghost Walk when he was testing the hero, because oh my god, I don't know how that snuck through, but he's not sneaking through any of these banning phases, and lots of bans as well targeted at the off lane, right, as we start to develop into this next phase. Quest already showing, pardon me, the Furion and the Silencer. I'm expecting that Shaker to be a core in some capacity. See where they end up taking that, but
Don't
now
forget
confident.
the Toby Silencer. Don't forget.
That's true.
I mean, it's not a fan favorite, but he does play the hero.
No, I mean, I think he did that at Lima. I think I got to cast their game. That was Entity versus Talon, I believe, in a playoff stage. Pardon me, and it didn't work. Didn't work when they tried that one out. I don't know if they'll do it now. That was, of course, back when Toby was on the team, right? But I don't think it's going to work out for them here. I think I'd prefer to see it as a support, especially because, you know, if you can just stop follow-up to a Roar, or even just canceling a Sunray, assuming the Phoenix is not in Supernova, that seems good enough for me.
But what if Phoenix has a shard?
I mean, then you're in a little bit more trouble. That's what I mean, yeah. Then you're in a little bit more trouble. And there's the TA. She will make it through the ban phase.
This is a very anti-Nature's Prophet draft. They have a very clear idea on how to deal with MP. Like, when I play MP, I hate playing against a team that has superior team fight compared to my team. Because I can't be split pushing all the time, you know. I want to be able to fight. And MP, he's not the strongest team fighter. Like, he is decent with the ulti, but you do want your team to have a team fight like Silencer and Earthshaker. So I think that's a pretty good follow-up with the MP, and it's also very good against the Phoenix, the Silence, the Global Silence, and the Last Word. So I feel like both teams are responding adequately towards what their opponents are doing, and then Bad Boom has the Beastmaster plus Templar follow-up, which are heroes that are also really good against Nature's Prophet. Beastmaster is good against Nature's Prophet in the game, and TA is good against Nature's Prophet in the lane itself.
Right. I mean, and you talked about this Radiant inclination, we should call it, to try and go for that 15-20 Roshan timing. I mean, this is a team that's going to want to do it, right?
Yes, precisely. With Beastmaster Aura, with TA Deso, and you see Quest right now, they're more or less going to be gearing up for a late game draft with Terrorblade. Because Terrorblade against TA, you're going to hit a point where you have Skadi, you have a lot of armor, so the TA doesn't hurt you, and you're going to kite her throughout the fight, you know. But that takes a lot of time. Whereas for the Radiant side, they have Beastmaster TA. Very, very fast-paced draft, you know. Supports like Silencer or Shaker, they are not the best at dealing with the summons early on, so if the laning phase goes badly for Quest, I could see Bad Boom just running over the game very, very quickly. But if they can somehow stabilize the lane with this Nature's Prophet, he's going to be a very, very key hero in this draft. They can actually get to late game, you know, get to the point of the game where the Terrorblade is going to be a massive counter towards the Templar Assassin.
Tokyo thinking about what's
He's
left here.
laughing.
Thinking about the scaling.
He's laughing. Oh, I am Phoenix, you know, I'm going to have a lot of fun this game. I swear, you know, every position 5 player, when you get to play something like Phoenix, Winter Wyvern, or you get to play something like Dawnbreaker position 5, you know, some big spell, and then you get to farm. Because Phoenix, you get to farm, you know.
Yeah.
Not every position
Fire
5 here you
Spirit's
get to
great.
farm.
It's a lovely buff. You just always have a Fire Spirit ready. I've seen GH on his stream as well go for an offlane Phoenix, which was kind of inspiring, honestly. The amount of farm you get on that hero went for, I think, a Shiva's and a Scythe, and had that up by like 30 minutes in a losing game, right? Which is not bad at all. A couple more carry bans to come through, or at least one more now from Quest. I guess expecting this TA to potentially be flexed to carry or mid lane. Probably carry. I think we end up seeing more of her in these days.
Yeah, because Nature's Prophet more or less. There's a high chance he's going to be the off laner here with the setup. I mean, it depends on the last pick. It could be the off laner, it could be position 5 because Earthshaker could be made. Silence is definitely a support. But things are still flexible, so Bad Boom can. I mean, they have the overall last pick, so they're not worried, you know, they can just wait.
Bloodseeker band.
Bloodseeker, what? Is Pango? No, there's no Pango.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's kind of an interesting one. I'm trying to think of now maybe an offlaner who does not want to be locked down, because you know, your transformation heroes, with the exception of Lycan, maybe. Well, Lycan's banned. You know, they don't want to be ruptured because they don't move around. But like, you know, a TB can definitely stand his ground and fight through a rupture. In fact, he's got, of course, the Sunder for it. So it's got to be for another hero that I'm not seeing here.
PA. Kappa.
Yeah, I mean, I doubt that one a little bit more.
PA's Achilles heel.
So you have it here smart.
Maybe
but you don't need a carry.
Maybe they just feel like with Bloodseeker, the whole lineup is very fast paced, right? And I mean, it's not just Bloodseeker being a fast hero, but the whole lineup comes online quickly and they take over the map. And because Quest has a very slow lineup, right? Earthshaker, you have Terrorblade, you have Nature's Prophet, you want to farm.
Ah, that makes sense though. Yeah.
One of Toby's special. Dark.
All right. I can't believe I forgot. This hero feels so good. He's gotten, you know, adjusted, and I think fairly reasonably. I think he's received some nerfs after a couple of buffs that he's had, but still definitely here that feels very good. You got a big old AoE vacuum. You might be able to catch a Phoenix who's Icarus diving to try and get in position for a supernova. And does not really struggle to find CS anymore these days, right? He's a universal hero now, so his right clicks are pretty beefy. Oh, but he might struggle if that's a Monkey King he's landing against.
Carry Monkey King mid TA, so it's gonna be a very fast-paced brawling lineup for Bad Boom, whereas Quest is very obvious they want to play for the long late game. Farm the map with the Darkseer Iron Shell, terribly pushes out lanes with illusions. Nature's Prophet obviously wants a long drawn-out game. So it's gonna be a race against time for Quest. Can they buy enough time for the Terrorblade Darkseer to come online before Bad Boom shuts the door, you know, with their all-out aggressive lineup with this Beastmaster TA Monkey King with the Phoenix?
What are you thinking? Like, I like to consider these timing tempo-based lineups by like Roshans. Would you say like second Rosh, Bad Boom need a decisive hold in this game at least?
Yeah, I think even by first Rosh, I think if they don't really have a good enough lead in the first Rosh, I think that could be problematic for them. Because if you look at the overall composition, the enemy has Silencer, Earthshaker, Darkseer, so they have like a very strong vacuum combo, vacuum into Echo Slam, Fission, and Global Silence. So if the game goes late, the team fights are going to be really difficult for Bad Boom. I mean, you have the Phoenix Reload combination. I think that combination is only good when the opponent doesn't have BKB. So you can always stop them from hitting the egg. But when the enemy Terrorblade has BKB, Nature's Prophet has a way to hit your egg, and there's also like some maybe some other hero running in to hit the egg, then the egg will just die very, very quickly. But in the early game, it's really reliable, you know, to always save the egg with the Terrorize.
I think one major thing here in Bad Boom's favor is going to be the vision advantage they have. You know, you always talk about that when you have a Beastmaster, and to a lesser degree, a TA as well, just with the trap vision, right? And the map control that can give you. Same thing as well, right? Your third core, Monkey King, as we just saw with Thompson's performance on it, is a hero that really does take advantage of that vision very nicely and can get onto something like a squishy silencer in order to really, you know, start the fight off right. So I certainly see a very viable world, right, where Bad Boom are able to get this timing, this tempo that they're looking for. I mean, no matter what, no way to beat Omar to the punch there. He's very quick to get out the ward.
I like this type of drafts the most. You know, the Radiant team has like both teams have very different ideas on how to play the game, and one team wants to end the game quickly, one team wants to drag out the game, you know. I feel like when the drafts are always positioned like this, the games are always very, very entertaining, you know. Even if it ends quickly, it'll be entertaining. But even if it's a long, drawn-out fight, it's also going to be fun.
Check out Omar. I mean, he's got such great intel because he immediately leveled teleport and TP to the mid lane. He put down one ward. He put down both, in fact.
That's something I miss doing, you know. Back in the day, we would TP and put a ward behind the enemy mid laner.
And you snipe warriors.
Yeah, you just snipe his tangles and everything, and then he can't play the lane.
And there's even another one right next to Toronto Tokyo's holding. So, you know, it's going to pay off because he's seen the ward get planted down. He's seen both wards get planted down. So Quest may very well be able to get 2 D wards here extremely early on. Yeah, so they're not playing in the dark.
Really, really smart. Next level tech, or old tech, I would say.
Yeah, bringing it back. He's playing the hits again. I don't think that there's a world where Beppoon really want to contest this. The runes will go 2 apiece, but we'll keep our eyes here on the kill feed here on the left to see if we do get any D wards coming soon. Nice advantage.
Yep, Toby is gonna get followed by Toronto Tokyo. He's trying to force out a Iron Shell, but he is gonna take a lot of damage here. You know, you went a little bit too close.
Yes, he is.
Die? Can he kill him? Okay.
Oh, I didn't see where that boundless strike came from. Honestly, that really confused me for a second. I didn't see that little clarity chilling. Either way, it was from fog, so Toby couldn't have seen it coming either. Nothing he could do to dodge it. But Toronto Tokyo, a little bit worse for wear after that. A bit of aggression from him. I don't know if that really quite worked out in his favor, but he'll
No. He's definitely not happy with that. Taking that straight, you know, that was not a good trade for him.
Yeah, especially Phoenix, of course, another famous low armor hero. Not as bad as the Sky, but not much better. And you can see Omar immediately.
One better is better.
Yeah, it's by far better actually. The armor differences in the range, I think, from like -7 to +7. So that range of armor, it's a huge difference for every single point of armor.
And you know why it also feels better with Phoenix? Because you have more base regen than Skyra. So it's more tolerable in the lane.
Sprout DPS, disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Gonna be pretty good against this Phoenix. 14 DPS. Ouch. No longer gives you regen. Double ouch. Not fun then. Lane here, noob. Struggling a little bit against this Templar in the early levels, I think, as you'd expect any melee ranger to do. But he's going to be able to do a good job here. I think Enchant Totem giving you that bonus attack range is going to come in clutch for him trying to avoid as much spill damage as is reasonably.
I mean, this lane overall should be pretty favorable for TA, regardless of how you want to put it. You know, like TA is going to have a much better start in terms of CSing, and I think the Shaker, like I said, you know, he's going to have to control runes and just try to play to even things out and maybe wait for rotations because he has Nature's Prophet on his team.
Yeah. Keeping my eye on top as well because there's plenty of skirmishing. We still have that point in Metamorphosis for Shad. If he does want to try and call on a rotation from the NP, you know, do have to keep that in mind as Noob is going to be able to secure both water runes mid. So that's pretty important for him. Make sure he can stay sustained in what is just a very harass-heavy lane. You know, whenever you see that first point in meld, you know it's going to be a tough time against that poor melee laner. This one's getting pretty bad. Noob unable to focus and actually get the CS there on the banner creep feels especially bad. It sucks when you lose one of those.
Especially on the side lane.
Oh, yeah. Because then your support pings you.
Don't do that, you know. Please don't do that.
We've played a couple games together, Winter. I know how it is. Pure is going to get gone on here just a little bit, but Shad may have actually overcommitted. Will pop the wand charges, but I think he's going to end up dropping. Instead, yeah, no, actually, that is where First Blood is. Kaori thought about maybe trying to turn, but he's honestly just probably dead as well. Only has one Fairy Fire to his name. There goes the Hawk dive bombing in. A little bit more is going to be required. Fairy Fire forced. He has the Healing Lotus, so he'll actually stay alive. But without the meta available anymore, there's no way they get the kill. Mid noob. Oh, one right click away. GPK was from finding yet another kill, or his first kill.
Right, mid. Oh yeah, shit.
Yeah, he is. He's 10-3 compared to the 25-6. That's rough. That is rough.
I mean, I know it's a pretty difficult matchup, but I didn't expect the lane to be this bad. Okay, so maybe I'm reading the lane wrong. Maybe this lane is actually that bad.
And especially with this casual Blightstone, I think the minus armor is just far too high. I think until Noob gets his plate mount for phase boots, there's just no way. Bottom, by the way, Toby, he's still going to go down. Omar had left the lane. I'm not sure where he Sprout or TP'd in from, but Sprout was not going to save him. Just that little bit of aggression with a level 2 Fire Spirit's DPS is enough to take down Toby. So right now, Winter, all 3 lanes looking a little bit difficult here, to say the least, for the side of Quest.
Yeah, this is a Bad Boom specialty. The lane, you know, they are, I think even gaming gladiators, when they were doing interviews, they said that Bad Boom team is the best team in the lane, you know, during the previous edition of the DreamLeague. I think it was Quinn, when we were interviewing him, he actually mentioned that, you know, like this, he specifically said it's so difficult to lane against them. You have to improve your
I mean, here they
lane.
go again. Omar being harassed, chased down by Nightfall, lives a bit longer. I believe that was just a fairy fire. But still killed off very easily. Gives Nightfall yet another kill, and then pause out from GPK. Quick little disconnect. I'm sure they'll get right back in. Maybe a little bit of FPS or whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's certainly seeming that way. Why this team is so darn good. I mean, look at even pure top lane. 6 stick charges, sitting on no HP. I don't know if they can really catch him here. Looks like Kaori's thrown all the harass that he has. And there's a little bit more regen about to be delivered. Oh, well, actually, no, there's not. So he's going to be struggling a little bit now because there's no Lotus for a while. That should at least give Shad some good timings. This would be an opportune time for a gank, but I don't really see that coming. Tokyo, I guess it's not impossible for him to go through the twin gate, but I feel very likely is we may be in for a bit of a longer pause with a report of 200. Okay. Lovely little music playing there.
Yeah, it's time to upgrade the internet.
Thank you. Okay, fair.
Is that the best one right now?
I think our observer likes it because it has a beautiful head of hair. I think. Yeah, look at that. I can't help it. I don't know.
Why are you so rude, Richie?
It's just banter. It's just banter. He knows. Come on, he knows. I've made him so incredibly sad. He stepped away from his computer. Camera's not moving. No, there it is. There it is. I knew it. He spelled my name wrong though, so he can't ignore me. It's impossible. He spelled it wrong. There it is. See. Unfortunately, I think we've got some full like reconnects there. Nightfall. Webcam off means he's probably maybe restarting the PC or you know, just a complete internet reset. So we might hear. Oh my God, I'm sorry. We might be here, Winter, for yet a couple minutes more. Already though, you know, Pure starting off very nicely. He's got the diadem. Not actually sure how to say it, but he's got that coming his way. Where's the item?
Career? It's in the he dropped it on the ground or something?
No, it's dropped somewhere. They're pinging it, but we can't see pings when the game's paused.
You know you know, it's one of the Horcrux, the diadem.
Well, I don't know what that is. What does that mean?
One of the, you know, when Lord Voldemort split his soul into 7 pieces. The diadem is one of the items that he split one of his souls there.
Does it contain his nose? But come on, man. That's all I know.
Tell if you're actually serious or you're trying to be funny.
That's all I know about Harry Potter, man.
That the Lord Voldemort does not have his nose.
Why do you have
it somewhere?
It's in Diadem too?
Probably, yeah. I mean, when he split part of his soul, I think he lost his nose there.
Getting the admin to hurry the players back in and keep things moving along here, lest I offend more Harry Potter fans. A group of fans that you really want to, you know, offend. I think in order, it's like Harry Potter fans and then OG fans you really don't want to cross. Little soundboard effects, but we're back into things here. Toby
agrees with you.
Oh, did he? Is that what he said? I wasn't looking. I've ignored him already. Oh goodness. But yeah, I mean, things are going to be looking difficult. I think Toby if he continues to fall behind in this lane, you know, the thing about this Darkseer is you're just meant to take over lanes and bully out especially melee laners. So the further away you get from your 3 and 5 respectively and slowing your Ion Shell progression, like the worse this game is just going to get. You give Nightfall the way more time in lane, more experience, more efficient farm, and you're going to start to regret that when, you know, your tier 2 start falling in 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's Darkseer for you, you know. Like you have to have a good start, you know. Top lane, Omar stepping in.
Look at this 167 move speed, breaking through the trees, but still killed off. Nice usage of their Metamorphosis level 2, and even the reflection coming in handy there for the kill. So Omar, you know, he's going to have some heavy lifting to do here, but he's got some broad shoulders. We'll see how he can keep things moving along. Toby
this
is
the only lane he can kill, you know, honestly, because he can't gank the TA. He can't play his own lane, so the top lane is the only lane he can kill, the Beastmaster.
Oh, that might result in a kill. Toby's got brown boots. He doesn't have Surge for a couple more seconds, trying to escape into the trees, but the trees, they're not your friend. Vacuum. Okay, so there's a unique interaction about Vacuum and why that didn't stun Nightfall. For whatever reason, it's like this as well with Skewer from Magnus. Hold on, Shad is in trouble. He's going to be okay, though. Not enough DPS here, and instead Save taking a lot of damage here. Kaori going into just the damaging Silencer build is going to be incredibly annoying. But the point is, basically, I don't... It's some Magnus spell. I don't remember if it's Skewer or if instead it's the Horn Toss. But they do break trees, but first they apply the movement. So that's why Monkey King is not stunned for, you know, the duration that maybe you think he should be off of that. Toronto Tokyo is going to try and actually steal a bounty rune here. Icarus dive in a little bit early, but there's no vacuum because the cooldown is so long. He outright clicks Toby. That's the mid lane experience coming in handy. He ought to die for this. And in the meantime, it's Omar who is going to at least be able to kill Save on the other side of the map, but he was not able to steal away the bounty rune. Sorry, make that the wisdom rune. So this is still quite a big loss overall for Quest, considering they lose out on any wisdom.
But they got 2 kills. Maybe it's
that's
the
still
reason.
no. I mean, maybe if Noob gets a kill, he just runs in an Echo Slams, absolute Giga Chad move, able to find the kill alongside Omar, who's going to prevent any follow up. Ramble Maze not connecting. Save has the damage though. Level 3 Shadow Realm as he puts up the ward for the kill. What's going on? This is such a bloody match. Nightfall takes this opportunity as well to dive underneath the tower, picks up the kill onto Toby. Does not stop here, Winter, the action.
Yeah, this is the kind of game that Bad Boom wants to play with their lineup. Fast and furious, you know, kills after kills after kill. Control rune. 8-minute rune.
Oh, wow. The minus armor damage is pretty insane. He might take down just Fire Spirits. Indeed, he does. Not have enough HP regen. In the meantime, though, Omar able to take away this DD rune. Toby, yeah, doesn't really want to go in against a level 7 Templar Assassin when he only has the Ring of Health. So he's just going to have to watch Omar get ran down. He will fall. Top lane, it's going to be Nightfall going through the Twin Gate now, assisted by the Primal Roar. Look at the coordination around the map. You can barely keep up with it. It's like a boxer just constantly attacking here. Boom. Easily winning, what, all 3 lanes, can we call it, Winter?
Yes, sir. And on top of that, using the Twin Gate to gank, I think this is something that a lot of the carries are getting really, really good at, understanding when you shove out the lane. Because the old way of playing is that you shove out the lane, you go to jungle. But right now, you shove out the lane and you Twin Gate to top the kill. And if the kill doesn't happen, you jungle in their map, you know, on their side. I mean, this is just making the game very, very snowbally if you can actually do this consistently. You know, when you pick a lane owning safe laner like Monkey King, you win your lane and you win your off lane as well.
Oh, Toby does spawn the well, a couple of illusions now. There is a supernova ready to be used here. That's a silencer TPing on in. We'll see what they can get done here. Looks like threatening to close the door as well is the Nature's Prophet, so not going to end up using the supernova there. I'm not sure how that spell interaction would have worked, because I know Last Word does its damage before the spell takes place.
You get damage first, so if you don't have enough HP, you just die.
But doesn't he just immediately turn into an egg and become invulnerable? Right?
Yeah.
Because it damages the hero, but the hero's off the map as soon as you press Supernova. I'm not sure actually what would have... Either way, that was not going to be a wise place to use the Supernova. I'm just curious as to what would have happened.
I think it behaves similar to the Pugna Ward, you know, where you cast your spell and you die before your spell comes out.
I don't know if I've ever done that as a Phoenix, though, so that's why I'm trying to remember. I know it works like that for anything else, like Disruption or something, right? So maybe it does work the same way for Phoenix Supernova. I'm gonna have to retest that. Toby is just, I mean, absolutely no mercy here. Doesn't look like he's gonna be able to catch Toby. Nightfall, high-fives the tower, does not have a stun, and I think lacks the damage even with the Echo Saber and the Jingu Mastery. Over mid-low, even more action as there's a Supernova, which is going to get through Noob very easily. A GPK and save as well. This is just chaos. This is, I mean, and not in favor of Quest Esports, unfortunately for them. They have basically nothing cooking for them.
I mean, to the naked eye, it's chaos. But like to teams, to players, it's all coordinated aggression. You know, everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing, shuffling out waves. Every wave where they are playing on the map is precisely where they should be playing to allow all the sequence of events to happen.
That's true. It seems like chaos to me. And maybe to Quest it feels chaotic because everywhere they go, everywhere they try and farm,
it's like, what's happening? Why are they here?
Yeah.
Why are there so many heroes here? Why am I even dying?
What the vacuum? They really vacuum for Toby? Because he was gonna CS the range creep? Is that? It couldn't have been mid.
Desperate he is, man. He's poor.
That's unbelievable. That Boom really playing the mental game as well. And Noob, what can he do against Toronto Tokyo either? He still has Icarus dive, of course, so he's just out of there. This is starting to look hard. I mean, anywhere they try and farm, with the exception of where Shad's supposed to be farming, the safest farm right now has to go to the TB, right? It's the only way that they take this game later. Just getting pushed back, they're getting farmed. And they're taking bets. GPK has himself already the Dragon Lance. Maybe getting a little bit too aggressive here. They thought about committing the TP. Illusion Rune is going to spawn in for Noob as he runs into that second Bramble. Receiving a little bit of assistance now from Toby. We'll see when he wants to actually use this illusion, but he's got that one for a rainy day saved up. We'll be going for
it's really rough right now for Quest. They have to try to take a good fight with the dagger on Earthshaker. I think that's the best thing they can do right now. Try to chill the next couple of minutes, finish the dagger, and with the global silence, try to win a fight from there. If that play does not work, the game is just going to snowball out of control. I mean, right now it's already out of control, you know?
Yeah, it's getting there, Winter. Pure, obviously, he's finished off his Helm 1, but into the Helm 2 here rather quickly. And once he has that, he's going to start, taking away more of this map control. What little you have on Quest, it'll end up going to Pure here momentarily. Nightfall, supported by Save, will finally be able to take down this Tier 1 tower. Not like this is expected anyway. They just won the lane that hard. And eventually it'll go down. I mean, the only reason Nightfalls had to leave this lane was to chase Toby down for a kill or to TP top and get a kill in return. I mean, he's just been having an excellent game so far on the Monkey King. He already has a Maelstrom and an Echo Saber.
Yeah, the next time he moves is going to be definitely for Roche.
This is...
And normally you see Monkey King's go Deso, but this game, because you are playing against a Terrorblade, high armor, so Maelstrom is a much better option, to deal with the Terrorblade and the illusions.
And I think it's a good idea to try and diversify your damage, right? Like you're saying against him. You've got pretty good magic damage between your Phoenix and your Willow, but your third core Beastmaster also has a good amount of magic as well.
TA is also going to get a Deso. So
yeah.
You don't really have to get two.
But, it'll help because you see what Quest is building. Like I mentioned earlier, Toby going for this early Crimson Guard is going to make a pretty big difference here in some of these early fights. Pardon me, like you say, alongside that Blink Dagger that the Shaker's going for, Kaori as well. Eventually, we'll have an opportunity to use a Global Silence. Oh, okay, he dodged the uphill attack there on the Melt Strike. That allows him to live. Little stroke of luck for him.
Meanwhile, Omar scanned the Wisdom Runes, so he made sure no one was there before he TP in, so they were able to get 2 of the Wisdom Runes.
Very good. Very good. That's, I mean, and these little plays could really go a long way. Toby has Crimson Guard now coming his way. There's a Blink Dagger now for Noob. It's on the courier, so he's not going to show it on this way.
Time to fight, Richie.
I agree. I'm seeing a lot of systems basically go green for a fight. I think if you wait another minute, basically you'll have also a Spirit Vessel up on Omar. I mean, at least to reduce the healing of this level 2 Sunray a little bit more, should that come out. And also the Vlad's lifesteal. I mean, I think it's important. I think, you might as well wait for it here. Oh, Omar. I don't think they quite catch him. Wow, Save is farmed. He already has a Yule Scepter. That's something here. Things
Yeah, you
looking
can use it
difficult.
to set up. You can use it to remove the global.
Yeah,
It's a very good item.
it's a
this
great
game.
item. It's just expensive. That's all I mean. You know, 15-minute Yule Scepter on a support, you're having a very good game here. And in fact, this could lead to the first Roche. Deso not up yet for GPK, but of course he has essentially 2 Meld Strikes, as well as only a level 1 Inner Beast. This might not be quite as fast as it could be, but I think they'll be fast enough. And Quest Esports seem to not have an idea that it's going on, or if they do, they don't intend to contest it. They're continuing to get their farm over in the mid lane.
I don't think there's much they can do. They just have to use this time to get up items on Terrorblade. He's about to finish his Manta. He's gonna need Manta, Butterfly, Skadi. These are the 3 items he's gonna need this game.
Yeah.
And then eventually BKB.
I guess it just, for me, it feels a little bit bad, right? Because if you're not going to be fighting then, I mean, the Blink Dagger on Shaker is always good, but I think it does take a little bit of wind out from this Crimson Guard purchase that Toby finally has. We'll see. I mean, Quest, they seem to be fighting, so maybe they think now is the time, as they seem to do. They just saw that TA trap get placed down, so they know the TA is in the area, and they see movement up above. Blink Dagger forward from Noob. Echo Slam as well. I think only catching 1. Vac Wall as well, only onto the Willow, so save. Just eating everything right now is Pure looking to turn. Omar just dying now to GPK as Shad, backing him up a little bit. The MP is able to escape at the very least, but down goes the Supernova. It's just going to be nuking through these heroes. Look at Nightfall joining the fight now. Is not going to be able to quite get through Shad, though, because he just has enough mana for the Sunder. Is going to be able to receive now that surge to escape back to safety. The rest of Quest not looking nearly as good here. They try and force a fight and really go reaching for it. GPK still going to conserve the Aegis at the end of the day. The net worth lead grows to 10k, Windsor. Not the fight Quest we're looking for.
Yeah, not the best jump for sure. He jumped onto the Dark Willow solo, and
Yeah.
the Dark Willow, he was able to actually react and got his Shadow Realm off. I think even if they killed the Dark Willow, say they burst her from full to nothing, I still feel like the fight is difficult for them to
Yeah.
take.
I think they needed more than a 2-man Echo there. If they can catch at least the Beastmaster in the fight, in the Echo, I think that fight has a chance, especially because Nightfall wasn't really in the area to immediately capitalize. A Supernova could have been, easily focused, but without that happening in that order, it's not really the best, especially once Vac Wall is used and it's still only onto a Willow. It's a feels bad.
Nope. Oh, that was close. Able to blink his way out, so dodging the gank. I mean, Quest
Tokyo's had a Midas. Sorry, it's nice.
He doesn't have to buy anything. I mean, that's the beauty of Phoenix here. You don't need anything. Like, whether you buy a Midas or not, the hero still functions the same way. The only reason you wouldn't buy Midas is sometimes you feel like maybe it's too greedy and you want to get your items with stats that help you fight.
Right. I've seen a couple games where support Phoenixes will just go straight. Maybe not refresher, but yeah, the Scythe I've seen quite commonly.
Sometimes you get a use if you're playing in Silencer, or maybe you're playing against like some LC that you need to dispel.
Some DP hero, something like that.
Yeah. But overall, the hero there's nothing that the hero particularly needs to buy in a game, That's why you often see Midas. And sometimes you don't know what you want to buy. So when you don't know what you want to buy, you have to wait and think. You buy a Midas and think about it.
Yep, that's right. You invest in your thinking. You do.
You invest in the future.
Yeah, that's always a wise thing. Kaori here is, oh goodness, he didn't even destroy the trap. I think he's just going to die. Melt Strike, not enough damage. Okay, that was a scary moment. That was a scary moment.
I mean, he has a medallion, so he has 5 extra armor.
Makes a big deal. Makes a really big deal.
Yeah, bad boom right now. They're gonna sweep the map with the smoke onto Beastmaster and Will. They're gonna just kill whoever they find, and Shad, he's hiding. He just wants to send his illusions out.
Yep. He's got to be careful though, right? Because if he sends, yeah, he's TPing out after this illusion. Okay, good. Because they'll eventually hunt you down if they can find out where these illusions are coming from. You might not last too long. But the smoke is not going to pan into anything here, seemingly. As Shad is going to have his illusion beat up by the Ancient Granite Golem. And instead, that boom, we'll see how far they want to push it. Seems like they may look to make a move for the enemy's Tormentor, as they are starting to approach this 2-2 tower. Oh, top lane. Pardon me, top lane. It's just a kill on... Oh, just a kill onto Omar. Okay, I thought it was more. I mean, Nightfall, he'll pick up kills where he can, right? He doesn't... Not too upset by this.
And this is actually a pretty big kill, because the MPs has been split pushing for quite some time. They needed somebody to stop it, and Monkey King is one of the better ones to hunt down and just profit.
Wow. Okay, double meld for the Tormentor. That's taken down instantly. Unable to find a jump in. So has that level 1 Echo Slam here on the Shaker. His farm has been not phenomenal, unfortunately. He's got less farm than save. I was looking for him on the net worth charts and had to look a lot lower than I thought I would. But that's kind of the way this game, unfortunately, has broken down from. Feels like a repeat of how Tundra were able to take the game just previously here in our last series.
Yeah, you definitely do not expect the team that has Nature's Prophet to be far behind from the start to the mid game.
Yeah.
I mean, lanes has not been going well, you know, for Quest this game. Like, Bad Boom gave them a laning phase lesson, I would say.
That they did.
Laning 101.
They did. Felt like I was watching a... oh, no, Omar is going to get caught again here, by the way. Maybe he can deny himself to the... No, he can't deny himself to the Tormentor. A little bit of, yeah, like you said, the laning experience here. A lesson to try and be learned, but... Again, the team fight's still really good from Quest, right? So Beppu can't be careless when they look to push into high ground. But we have hit that first Roshan kind of foothold time that I had asked you about in the draft. And Winter, I think it's safe to say that Betboom have certainly built themselves a lead in this game, up 14K, make that at 21 minutes.
Yep, this is a pretty sizable lead already for the first Rosh. And like you said, the high ground is going to be troublesome for them. With when you're playing against Earthshaker, you're playing against a vacuum wall, it's going to be very annoying. You need to have like a very big lead. You need to have buybacks, you need to have Aegis, cheese before you can actually push the high ground. What they're doing right now is they're just choking out the map and trying to lower the percentage of something going wrong, you know, when they're pushing the high ground. Try to build as big of a lead as you can.
Your eye on that blue arrow, right? So we're looking at a blue arrow, and what do players call this? What's the 10th position?
Blue arrow?
Yeah, on the minimap, right? Because you can see Nightfall where he's at, and if you ever see that, what color is Omar's slot hero? I feel like I'm colorblind. Is that gray?
Brown? I mean, he's brown.
Yeah, so, you know, if you ever see those colliding, you know that Nightfall is hunting correctly. Look, I don't know. That wasn't like a bait. I wasn't trying to bait you or anything. I just don't know what color it is. I always get it wrong. Dual Scepter from save for fun.
Memorize the slots, Richie. All right, we have a roll.
Toby, I think he's just gonna die. Got off the Crimson Guard and everything as well, but still goes down. They did commit Supernova and Wukong's command, so, you know, kind of a big commitment here out from Betboom, but they're happy to exchange that for a kill onto the support. Omar is gonna run into save, and I think there's no TP not from this one, as there's gonna be plenty of damage into the Bedlam. Omar trying to TP away, but the damage is just overwhelming.
Yeah, kind of messed up the combo a little bit, but whatever, you know. There's enough damage to kill.
Yeah.
I mean, I like how they committed all their spells for the Darksteel kill, you know? Because you're playing against Global and Echo Sam, you know. If you, for some reason, lag a little bit of damage for that kill, Global and Echo, you're gonna lose a lot of heroes, you know.
Good point. And you're probably not gonna make a serious push for high ground either until you get this Aegis under your hands.
Yep.
So,
it's just a kill, you know. So you don't want to risk too much.
Roar back up.
And right now you see a gem. You see a gem on Toronto Talk. Yeah, that's great. Whenever you're ahead in the game, you should always get a gem to remove all the enemy's vision.
Okay, hold on. This is maybe a moment now for Quest. There's an Eye of Scotty completed on Shad, so lots of stats, and of course, the all-important slow Nightfall. I don't know if they know where he is in the trees. Now they've seen him, but Noob unable to get the jump in time, and, well, if you don't jump a monkey, he's gonna spring away halfway across the map. Very, very common phrase. I've heard it many times. Toby, vacuum onto just one. Okay, Pierre going to counter initiate yet again. Omar just waiting in the wings here as the Yule Scepter used defensively onto Noob. It'll set himself up for a hard time. Now as the BKB activated,
nice
Global Slams at least prevents the Wukong command, but the Terrorize allows Noob to do nothing. Shad is going to turn and fight now. Out comes the Wukong command and the wall, but no vacuum to follow suit as GPK sprouted up is going to be stopped from killing Toby. Immediate Blink Echo onto 2. That's a nice one save. It's going to go down 500 gold now for Noob. Might just make that buyback worth it, but the Wolflord, can they get out from this fight? No more global, no more back wall. There is a supernova. That's going to be turning onto 3 now. GPK going invis, but they have the detection. Shad will be able to nuke him down. They at least get through Toby, as it's going to be Omar as well to fall. But without the BKB here, they're actually vulnerable, and Nightfall is taken down. Shad's got 2 kills and 2 big cores at that, Winter. It's 1,300 gold net worth swing alone in those kills for the core TV.
Noob?
Oh no, is Noob gonna die? Okay, I thought Noob was gonna die to the Golem.
Yeah, that was worth the double buybacks that they have to use. Getting the kills on the TV, because eventually Terrorblade is the win condition. He needs to get to the stage where he's level 20, then he has his Butterfly, Skadi, Manta. Those are the items that he's gonna need and the levels. And then you'll start to see the TA struggle to do anything to the TB, you know. So that boom, they have to be careful, you know. Like if they give away one more fight like that, the TB is gonna become unkillable. And Roche is out.
Potentially a game-winning sentry ward there by Kaori, by the way. Now he's got the gem in his possession, so that item, you know, pulled away out from under Bet Boom. And it's Toronto Tokyo. Well, we've got another one actually. I think this is his. Pardon me. It seems like Quest have decided to buy their own.
He's queuing a Midas on the silence.
Do you support that? He doesn't know what to buy. He's just investing.
Yeah, I mean, what else can he get? Given the stage of the game, and the only way they win is like if the game goes really long. I mean, I'm not saying I'm recommending getting a Midas. I mean, I'm not saying I'm recommending it, but I would rather get like something like Aeon's Ghost Scepter, anything that can help me, or even like a 4-star, you know, just get a 4-star to run away, to help your team run away, or help yourself run away.
What I'm hearing is the item is winter approved.
Why do you always do this?
Invest in Midas in your pubs, and if anyone ever tries to prove you wrong, you tell them that winter said it's okay.
You know, Midas is one of my least purchased items. So why would I do that?
That's a good point, Winter. Good point. Careful though. Another fight incoming here, potentially, as Quest Esports are in a pretty good position here. There's 5 Lotuses in that pool. But right now, eyes on the prize, which is Roche. Aegis onto GPK. Cheese onto Nightfall. It's into the active inventory as well. Seems like Quest are going to be unable to really find a fight here. They have been scouted, though, by the boar, so... Boom, they know something's around. Not they're going to be able to find a jump, though. An entirely different question. Lingering in the area, though, cutting waves. They're playing around their own ward, but
they killed the BKB.
Yeah, he loses his courier. That's a big move here. BKB here for the Beastmaster. Boom, again, playing right around the ward. Very disciplined. Will now take the opportunity to smoke up themselves.
The Terrorblade is so close to his Butterfly, though. I feel like they should just let him finish it. It's such a big item.
Just needs that talisman, basically 400 gold.
Yeah, I mean, what is TA and Monkey gonna do to you? And even the Beast, you know, when you're a Butterfly, they can't kill you.
That struggle. Seems like you kind of just have to tank a full supernova, basically, until you're really under any pressure. I agree with you. Happen for now, their move is to just sweep across the map, cut waves, and force back Quest. They will not be able to prevent this Butterfly, I believe. Careful, though. That's Omar. Jumped and killed yet again. Does pick up the wisdom rune for his team, though, so that's something. I believe that's another double wisdom, is it? It is, as Toby is able to pick up the radiant one. So Quest, after losing the two first wisdom runes, pardon me, are able to recover the next 4 consecutively. So the XP difference, it's, you know, a little bit rough still for sure, but now that we're paused, we can take a look at the graph, and you can actually kind of see, especially with this most recent pickup, the XP advantage kind of take a dip, and that helps a lot in these fights. You know, getting closer to maxing your skills, especially for these supports. That level 2 ultimate now that Kaori has, you know, was that an extra 0.75 seconds of global silence? That might be enough to make a difference. So these things add up. I can guarantee you Silencer would not be level 12 right now if they didn't get the last 4 wisdom runes. No way. That's so much XP, and you can just see how constricted the map now feels for Quest. But I would say, you know, Winter Quest putting on a pretty good class here in terms of how you play from behind. You know, taking the one fight on their big item, playing around your vision, and going for the
using
D-wards.
buyback.
Yeah, using buybacks, buying Midas on your support Silencer at 29 minutes. These are ways to get back into the game. I mean, the last one was a bit facetious. You'll have to pardon me for that. But everything else has been very patient. They're not going to be the ones to make a mistake. They're keeping Shad up on the high ground. They're going to say, hey, for this Aegis period, you're going to have to come up to our high ground. Or we're taking a fight under our vision. We'll see what it'll be, because it looks like they're, going to smoke up.
Yeah, they're giving themselves the best chance to stay in the game, doing all the correct little things, all the small little things.
Buyback situation is looking bad, though, for Quest.
If they mess up one fight, the TB is going to... I feel like he's going to just carry the game, if they mess up one fight from here on.
He's got Butterfly. He doesn't have BKB, right? But Butterfly being available does give him a lot more confidence in these fights.
Are they getting MKB on anyone right now?
Not that I can see. TA's got a lot of money. It would seem very natural there as well for the... Yeah, Monkey King's got one queued up after his full Harpoon. I'd expect 2 here quite shortly, to be honest with you.
Let me ask you a law question.
Yeah, go for it.
Do you feel like it's unfair that Monkey King has to buy Monkey King bar?
I think what you should have to do for Monkey King to get his Monkey King bar, doesn't he steal it from like a whale or something? Right?
A whale?
Yeah, he steals it from like the whale god, right? In the Chinese lore. Not in Dota. I don't know where he gets his Monkey King bar in Dota. But I think traditionally he steals it.
Yeah. Damn, how do you know that?
Come on, Winch. I've lived in KL for 4 years. You don't think I know a little bit of Chinese lore by now? Hold on, noob. Getting jumped does not have BKB. Counter initiation. Ooh, global silence. They need to save him, but they just can't because Nightfall BKB'd it off. Would have been unaffected by a Vac Wall, and Toby can't save him with the Crimson nor the Guardian Greaves. So noob dying basically for a mid-wave there. And my whole point was, Winter, I think if there's a Tide Hunter in the game who's in the farthest western point in the map while it's still in water and Monkey King kills him, he should get an MKB. That makes sense. Didn't expect me to actually know lore, huh? No respect. No respect.
I'm so sorry. I underestimated you.
Toby getting caught, setting up now for plenty of pain. So there's going to be a Sunray, a Supernova, and of course the Meld Strike right on top. BetBoom wasting no opportunities here to just exert influence and map control, and take down objectives. It's... the game was previously in a pretty scary situation here. Still winnable, I have to say, for Quest, but they have to start stringing some of their ultis together. They can't just keep losing cores, especially around the map.
He's building Data's last on the chariot. I don't know if I like it. I feel like he just needs BKB so that he doesn't get interrupted by all the small little annoying spells, the Curse Crown, the Terrorize, the Sunray.
It's still, it's a mid-wave, but that's all they get actually with Aegis number 2. So, down but not out are Quest by any means here. Not to mention that the trap silence, by the way, as we can see now onto Shad being really annoying. Potentially stopping Asunder. Does have himself that Manta style, right? So has a Dispel, but might need another one. I think that ends up making a difference. Another Tormentor killed off here by BetBoom. Being Pure now his Ag Shard. More Hawks at the ready. Omar back alive again, starting to push out these waves and become even more annoying. I don't know, man. Quest, it's crazy to say this, right? 30k in 33 minutes. But until I see an MKB, I'm not counting them out. Problem is, they got maybe like 3 minutes until MKB number 1 is out, and that'll be first for the Templar. Chad's going to have Crystallis up in the meantime. Maybe not the full Daedalus. He was so desperate as well to get this BKB finished up. You can see he's farming in pretty perilous positions, relatively speaking. We got pretty good intel where the rest of BetBoom are just because of how the waves have been pushed, but...
I don't know. I think it's risky, not to get the BKB, finishing this data. So I feel like...
Okay, they're just going to open it up. They're going to try to get through GPK here. Gets the Force Staff away. The Vac Wall didn't really connect. Winter, the Vacuum Wall. GPK getting focused down by Omar, but he can't win that 1v1. Not even with Kayari at the hands. Now Noob, stunned up and killed. Is without the BKB. Could not dispel that root, but they do actually get through GPK. It's a very good trade.
But now meta is down. They also use the egg. But maybe BetBoom can actually just go back once meta is out. They still have the Wukong's command. They can just put the Wukong's command ring, hit the racks.
Yeah, that's true. That's a big loss here, especially because it might just lead into a potential Roche now from Quest. Roche will not spawn until at least 35 and some change. That'll be right in control here of where Quester just are, and they've got a ward already, in fact, on that twin gate point. So this could be the opportunity that they need. There's no tier 1 up either for BetBoom. I mean, things are, we're starting to see a very viable path forward here.
Yeah, this is just basically the hero to hero matchup. Like Terrible is always going to have like a good late game matchup against all the Radiant lineup heroes.
I don't know though. I mean, there's an MKB up. He's killed the jet. It's a whale or something, right? It's a whale god.
Yeah, that's why I feel like I don't like the Daedalus. I think he needs to just get BKB so he can just stand and fight. If he can't dish out the damage with a BKB, like even you have a Daedalus, you get terrorized, then what? You're not gonna be able to right click anything. I mean, like you say, you're gonna be counting on what your Manta dodge against the terrorize.
Yeah, I mean, against the terrorize, against trap silences, even could be the death of you. I mean, obviously the roar is going to be a problem either way, but I'm also completely surprised that he's not considering it. Now a smoke play now for BetBoom. They're not going to wait for this Roche. It is just another 10 seconds, looking for an opportunity in. Those wards are going to be scouted though, thanks to a preemptive sentry. So they're going to send now the TB illusions to dispatch of them. Tier 3 tower taking some damage. But Sprout here does not cancel, the Blink Dagger of GPK though, and had a Force Staff as well to get him back to safety. Okay, Roar on in. Shad was up a bit too aggressively. Global size, but that might not be enough to save it because there's BKBs all around. Shad needs a Thunder target. Found one. Will be able to live through that bout of damage. Where's the counter initiation? Noob in with the Echo Slam. It catches 3. The follow-up fissure. A thing of beauty. That's what Quest we're waiting for. They'll get the kill. Only 2 supports. We'll see what else they can find as Pure barely managing to TP away. They need a core here, I think, Winter. Or they just need to break off and go right for Roche. But Quest, they will hold on. They're not tapping out of this game yet.
No core, but they got the gem. They got the gem away from BetBoom, so that's also a pretty good win. Like you're 30k behind. Like even though you kill the 2 supports, I feel like that's good enough for Quest. They're gonna get to the stage where the Terror is gonna have level 20. It's gonna have his next item. I mean, that's what I was worrying about. If you don't have the BKB, there's always a chance you get jump and you're gonna die from the magic damage. And he almost died there.
I mean, very true, right? I mean, just a nice blink on it. Very aggressive positioning considering they knew there was an observer ward there. But it should maybe give an opportunity now for Quest to consider taking another fight outside of the base, potentially even near that Roche pit.
Phoenix is dead. They want to go.
Phoenix is dead. There's going to be no Supernova for another 10 seconds after he respawns. I'm not sure if that's quite enough time, but if they can find a catch here, maybe be able to find them, give them a little bit of a pinch. Positioning from BetBoom, extremely defensive now as the TA traps being reinforced by heroes respawning and rejoining the fight. You careful here, Shad, in for potentially another roar. That Terrorize needs to come through this time. I think BetBoom have learned their lesson. Force number 1 does not get himself to the Wukong's command, and now he's in trouble. The vacuum not good enough. They will take down Shad. Toby as well, used up, dispelled, and easily finished when he comes back down to earth. Is going to end up dying. Looks like they're going to be able to TP a couple heroes away as they force the Supernova. So, no, the worst thing, but BetBoom, they're going to get what they came for, and that's Roche. GPK already waiting in the pit. It's going to be Roshan, number 3, maybe the decisive one here, Winter, into the hands of BetBoom.
Refresher for Phoenix? Nah,
yes.
Monkey. I guess Monkey.
No, Phoenix.
You dream on, the supports are never going to get that item.
I think it's not too unreasonable. Maybe Pure takes it.
I mean, the call is gonna tell you I want 2 BKB charge, I want 2 Monkey ulti so I can hit the Rex. Are you gonna hit the Rex? No, so shut up. Give me the refresher shot.
Oh goodness. I think
can't argue with that.
You can't argue with that, unfortunately. Let's keep in mind though, the buyback situation for BetBoom is extremely limited right now. So this is obviously a lethal push coming for Quest. What could be a lethal push, but what could also be step 1 into coming back. Global Silence back in 14 seconds. So BetBoom are not going to have a wave here to confidently push, even with this Aegis. They don't have their Supernova. So they're going to have to wait. And that, again, it gives more time for Quest to keep getting these items online.
What are they getting next? What big item? They're getting a BKB on Shaker. Might be big. I mean, Darksteel doesn't really have time to get anything big. I mean, it's just a Shaker. And the
Good shape
BKB on
there,
Terrorblade. Yeah, BKB on Terrorblade. I feel like that
Yeah,
would
but
be WS.
he still has that Daedalus finish first, though, in the quick buy. Oh, no. Noob going down there is a big loss. It's dead for
Who's the fourth to kill
70.
him?
Yeah, they did.
The power
Yeah,
of the sleight of voice on a hero like Dark Willow, you know.
Yeah, Slight the Vice and the Shivas as well for the Vision. This is... and the Gem's also been returned. This is going to be really troublesome. They're also going to have a hard time, pardon me, killing this Phoenix because he has a locked Aeon Disc in his inventory. So as long as he's not muted, either through a Scythe of Vice or something like that, he's going to be able to always assemble that, even if he's stunned, and probably get up a Supernova. Will dispel, of course, the Global. So this next fight, I mean, you know, Bepboom, they've got a lot of gold, and they've invested that into items that should allow them to easily take a fight here. They've got this 25 talent now, Wukong's Command Ring. It's Nightfall, he's just into the base. Waiting for an opportunity here. Quest really trying to make sure that they don't have to buy back on the Shaker. Might not have a choice. As the Siege is going to get set now onto the Tier 3. That's the Fortify use now, which they're not going to get another one here because they've already lost to Tier 3. Not for another 5 minutes anyway. It's not going to really save the structures, but it does give enough time for Quest to get the Shaker back. It's all in then for these bottom lanes. Again, the back wall, it's a good one into the Echo Slam. They nearly get through GPK, and in fact, they will. Sunray, though, on top of the Supernova, gets through Shad. He also used the Metamorphosis there, so he's going to buy back, but he's not going to have it here. How much can Quest really hope to do, especially as they've lost 2 additional heroes? The fight has gone lopsided. The odds stacked against them as Bepboom team looking to close out game number 1. They've found Noob. He's going to have a buyback Winter. He'll probably be forced to use it as well, but I just don't see how they hold against this. I don't see what stops Bepboom from just chasing down Tier 4s.
That looked amazing. The vacuum into Echo. But it was not enough. They only killed the Aegis.
Don't think it's going to be enough. There's buyback now from Noob. Demon Zeal out from Shad gives them something, but he's just surrounded by all these brambles. Not secured megas yet, I have to say, from Bepboom. I think they've just realized it now. As Nightfall is going to go back for it. He's got his own Refresher Orb, by the way, so the shard is still, what, on Pure? Or I think it was utilized? Yeah, it was used in that fight. So again, it's going to be Quest Esports that live to see another fight. But again, still without meta for 80 seconds, Winter. This is getting really desperate. And I'm also surprised Bepboom just didn't finish the game there, to be quite honest with you. Maybe they'd like team fights.
Yeah, they're showing a lot of respect. They don't have cooldowns. They don't have ulti on Phoenix. They don't have Roar, so they just wanted to wait. They're taking no chances, waiting for the next set of items to be delivered.
Yeah, massing the gold.
Very disciplined play, you know. Even though they could have maybe gotten megas, you know. But the risk towards reward ratio, I think I like what they're doing.
Well, I think ultimately it's going to be the right choice. Even if it is going to be a little bit slower, methodical. It'll net them eventually a win here. Because it's just not really been coming together, unfortunately, for Quest. Just, I think, a little bit out of sync here, basically. But they're not far from making this work. You can see it starting to come together. I think just the problem for them is all these items. Aeon Disc in particular, stopping them from getting that kill onto the round of Tokyo as he just assembles it and pops the Supernova, makes the fight impossible. This Butterfly is well nullified by the MKBs. I didn't know the Hawks would go onto the Tormentors. That's pretty funny. It's flying into the building.
You learn something every day.
All right, they are going to be able to jump. Coyote does have buyback, so you can buy back in global. That's okay. An acceptable loss, but now they need to get something. That's a 3-man vacuum. But Toby, he's bought back earlier in the fight. He didn't even get the wall off. He might not be able to, as he will go down. Kaori bought back for the global silence. Doesn't really get much. Toby now has buyback. Part of me, I was mistaken there, as Shad feared, uprooted, and killed by the Wukongs. Oh no, the Boundless Strike. They're doing the work. Be the game. Bepboom. And just too far up. Quest Esports wiped off the face of the earth, and it's going to be Bepboom winning in game number 1.
Yeah, but like you mentioned, you know, they did well from behind Quest. They gave themselves a chance in the game still, even though they were so far behind after the laning phase. Played some decent Dota, made some good decisions about the game. but eventually the lead was just like way too big, you know, and maybe some item choices that are not the most optimal resulted them not being able to win the subsequent team fights, you know. But at the end of the day, Bad Boom played a really good early game. They played well from the lanes. They snowballed from there, controlled the map, took Roshan after Roshan after Roshan. Their supports played amazing, and they put in a lot of like hard work to win this game, you know. So they definitely deserve it.
I mean, definitely nets them the game there. And phenomenally well played here for the Boom team, who will take a win in game number 1. There's some nice happiness and some emotion out in Toronto, Tokyo. Always a nice one, like you say, and when you do get to play a game on with Phoenix. Again, you know, it's just difficult, right? Maybe a draft issue, the way that the lanes played out super early on, making things feel pretty much impossible for Quest. Again, I really commend them, though, for their tenacity in that game. The ability for them, for me to reasonably say they're 30k behind, they still have a good shot. You know, a couple things go differently. I think, in particular, the fight where they try and contest the Roche or trying to fight around the Roche bit not going their way, especially maybe feeling a little bit like the nail in the coffin for them there. But other than that, I have to only, again, give them compliments. I think they played really well considering the state of the game.
Yeah, I think if they gotten the vacuum into Echo much earlier in the previous fight, I felt like they could have definitely won the game. You know, they got it. I mean, they still got it in the end, but it was too late already. They lost too many buildings in the base. They were already too far behind. There was still a chance, but it also needed the enemy to make a huge mistake, you know, for them to be able to come back into the game, you know. And at the end of the day, you don't want to play the game and just wait for the enemy to mess something up, you know. You want to be able to have a better chance of winning the game. So they have to go back to the drawing board, figure out what they have to do in the laning phase, and try to fix certain, you know, maybe picks in the game so that they can actually play the early game.
Indeed, and I think that's going to start from the draft, where I believe this time they will also have priority. So we are going to get to see how that changes. We're going to go to a quick break, and when we return, it'll be Quest taking on Bad Boom in game number 2. We'll see you then.
Top tower is under attack. Top tower is under attack. It fights for its life. Dire's top tower is feeling its mortality. Dire's top tower is under attack. Tower has been destroyed.
Wear your passion. Share your passion. Wherever, whenever. Gaming is a lifestyle. Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It's BetBoom who win in game number 1 as Quest Esports are unable to recover from a laning stage. Let's say disaster, but a nightmare, more or less. We'll see how they look to recover in game number 2 as our draft nearly about to begin here. So you can Strike and Winter on the call with you. Winter, check in with us. What are we thinking here? What's the path back to victory here for Quest?
Funny you said nightmare. I immediately thought of Bane, so they need to pick Bane and put the nightmare on them.
Okay, I think
Sounds like a
that
strat.
works well. I love it when you know, by the 4th game of the day, Winter, your humor, you start all the way up here. You're talking about, you know, philosophy. You're talking about what was Kant really a bad or a good guy, and then by the end, you're falling all the way to my humor, which is like make joke about name. You know, good stuff.
That's when you know it's a long day.
It's not so bad. Come on now. Especially when the games have been this good. And we are hoping for, I think, a little bit of a closer game number 2, Winter. Game 1, not really panning out into the mega team fights that we were hoping for. Granted, I think that was due to a lot of patience from BetBoom team, which they ought to be commended for. Never giving the opportunity to really allow themselves to be wombo comboed. You know, I was even a little bit going, come on, boys, end the game. But in retrospect, it was the right view. It was the right move, sorry.
Like the way you push high ground nowadays, it's all more about how can you make the chances of something going wrong as slim as possible. That's all the kills you give away when you're this far ahead. It's too much goal, you know. Gives people so much. Like you can be leading 30k. You take one bad fight. And then you just feel like I just bet away like 15k goal or 20k goal, you know. And on top of that, my lineup is supposed to be ahead, right? The enemy drafted a late game lineup. So that remaining 10-15k lead is like nothing, you know. I
thought we were going to approach that moment even after Quest Esports managed to win a fight around the Cliff Ward. Remember, with the good Echo Slam and everything else that followed up from there. But unfortunately, they just couldn't continue panning that in. They got one good Vac Echo Slam into the global, and then they try and take another fight outside of the base, and things get, you know, significantly more difficult for them there. So difficult times, but certainly not impossible, I think, for Quest in this kind of a matchup. You know, again, but when your problems stem from the lanes and you're playing against a team just infamous for their ability to dominate from the laning stage, more so than even Quinn would acknowledge that Shopify Rebellion are, you know, and that's really saying something because that's normally how Shopify win their games. You know, this is a serious point of analysis, Winter. There ain't nothing to laugh about here. What do you do? This is the team. They win their lanes. That's what they do. How do you play into this?
I would recommend picking Chen and Enchantress.
Okay, just lane dominators, people that just don't lose lanes, basically.
Yeah, but I don't know if actually they play those heroes on their supports, because I don't think the way they play their other heroes gives me even a little bit of confidence that they'll be able to play Chen or Enchantress, because the way their position 5 plays is like he's always gonna be on some team fight, big AoE hero that can play the dead lane, push out waves, you know. And Chen doesn't really fit his play style. And even on the position 4, he's more like a initiating hero, like spell casting. He likes to play Rubik, Dark Willow, you know, Mirana. He likes to set up kills for his team. And it's not exactly like a Enchantress Chen. You to be able to play Enchantress Chen, you need to have the guy that has the mindset of, I'm not gonna have fun, but I'll suck the fun out of the enemy, you know.
Absolutely. You need